the boys?
How you doing?
How's it going?
Right.
Welcome, everybody. This is episode 10 of the CrowCast. Episode 10. Unbelievable.
10. Looking sexy
Now-
there, Lloyd.
We are now in double figure. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Well,
It is not bad at all. Let's start
well
off.
done,
Ed.
boys. Well
Week
done.
been, boys?
Sorry, what was that, buddy?
How's your week been? Let's start with Shayna. Shayna, what's going on up here? Man? Tell us about your week.
Well, I've been to hospital. Yay.
That's why I came to you first.
Yeah, you know, as you boys know, I got a dodgy left eye anyway, but
Yeah.
it's having some jip this week. So, was it last Wednesday? I had to go to hospital. They wouldn't let me in the hospital until I put a face mask on. Yeah, you are.
Did you abide?
For once, I did, Dave.
You did.
Because my eye was that bad, I was like, well, they're going to see me unless I put this face mask on, so...
Did they give you a face mask or did you take your own?
Oh, no, they give me one.
Did they give you one?
Yeah, you know, nice one, bit of PPI, you know, or PPE, whatever
PPI.
it is.
Yeah, bit of PPI. Definitely.
Oh, we're off to a great start.
Get your claim in, Shine. Get your claim in.
Oh, boys. So, yeah, so it's been one of them weeks.
So that's why you're wearing shades, brothers, eh?
Oh, yeah, you don't want to see what's behind these glasses.
That goes down January though, Shane.
Well,
I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd like to see
Get
what's
it out.
behind these
Get
glasses,
it
but I
out.
can't fucking see either.
Oh, fucking hell.
So,
What you should do is you should take them off, take a photo, and then when your eye's better, you can have a look at the photo.
Have a
can't you?
look.
And then you can see it.
people, it'd be one of them things you have fucking nightmares for weeks.
So you got medication, yeah?
Oh, yeah, like 9 times a day.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty
Yeah.
standard for you, but today.
Well, you know, but it's just another page to add to my prescription, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love
You
that.
do.
Someone's commented, Oliver May, Shiner as a Shiner again.
I like I just said, I don't know. But it's not fucking good.
Well, we'll hopefully that'll clear up soon as, but
Yeah.
You'll be right,
I
Shane.
think it's because they've stopped me taking my other stuff, and I think that's why I can't see. So until whatever's the matter with it finishes, I can't go back to my other stuff. Nothing a bullet won't fucking solve, boys.
Shane is so
not good
Shine
at
is
all.
sobering up. He's sobering up.
Yeah.
so how's your week
Fair
been, Lloyd?
Yeah, really good, man. I mean, I started delivering donuts, vegan-friendly donuts this weekend for a local donut and coffee
Nice.
shop called Who Cult, Bridgend-based, very independent. And they make the donuts are amazing. They are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And they're not like them little donuts everybody's been making. They're like that. Nice, lovely, like base, like proper dough, like a donut. Yeah, so I've been doing that on the weekend and had a ton of sand delivered today. So I'm gonna
Ton of
start.
sand?
Loose
Building
ton
the
of
beach.
sand.
Building
So
the
no,
beach.
I got some stuff to be doing around the house with that. So
Around the house with some sand. Explain.
well, yeah, well.
He's making a beach out the back.
What-
Not in the house.
Lloyd,
Not in
sorry
the-
to interrupt.
Yeah,
Lloyd,
go on.
someone's asking, is that near pen code?
No, it's actually on Bridgend Industrial Estate. But if you Google Who Cult Bridgend, you can do online orders, and I'll drop them off to you. So it's a double whammy.
Wow.
Well, you should have said that, Lloyd.
They're
The
gonna
orders be flying out now.
Bloody hell,
Surely
we
that
should get a
cost of
percentage.
donut goes up now because you're delivering them. Surely the cost goes up.
And the delivery cost. Well, my pay.
I would have said so.
No, they're really good. They are really good. But yeah,
Then-
going back to the sand, Dave, I thought I'd invite you up when this lockdown's over and you're allowed to come up. I thought I'd invite you up so you could build some castles.
Sand pit fight, is it? naked sand pit fight.
Can you imagine
No, I've,
back in Spain?
I bought a 12. Well, I say I bought. My missus bought a 12-foot paddling pool a couple of weeks ago for the kids, and our garden's a bit like on a slant. So I thought, sand being like a beach. It's quite soft on your feet once it's dry, so it'll make good to level the ground off and be like soft for the base for the pool. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's
Lovely.
good. See.
So, yeah.
What you been up to, Dave?
Just back to work this week, so not a lot really.
What was that, Dave?
Doing a
Say it
few
again?
guitar bits like that. That run playthrough. No, am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back in the room?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, not a lot really. Just playing the guitar, doing some playthroughs, which I'm going to probably do a little bit more of. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah, that was really cool, Dave.
It was cool.
Love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just experimenting with. I was just
It's the Black
experimenting with some stuff I've got, and I literally just filmed it with my phone and put it together with the free version of some video editor or something. But yeah, looking to do something a little bit more slick in the future. So kind of try to sort something out there in the background. Apart from that,
look at Ronnie there. Sorry, look at Ron.
Just a bit of work.
I'm trying to, it's like a new game, isn't it? You're trying to listen to like 3 words and
I didn't do anything apart from
fill in the blanks.
I'm trying to work out what he's actually talking about, because then he'll go and then I filled her in.
It's kind of like
from Wayne's World, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've
so let me run that back.
Invented your own lyrics game there, Dave. We got to guess your lyrics.
Well, I'm plugged into the Ethernet cable tonight, so I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem
not a break in the cable.
But no, not a lot really.
Start again, then, buddy. You went back to work this week, yeah?
Yeah, just back to work. But apart from that, just been trying to mess around with.
Oh, he's off.
Things I can do with the guitar.
Guitar. That's all you do.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. I didn't do anything this week.
I'd love to see the subtitles on that.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
It's like a great
What's your week been like, Ron?
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
What's his name off Short Circuit, isn't it? Was it?
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five, isn't it?
Let Johnny Five finish his sentence. Yeah, really good week. Wow, what a quick week. What a quick week. Genuinely, like when we went into the lockdown thing, I think like
it was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, they felt really long, like when we started these, and now I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's CrowCast Day. Do you know what I mean? It's like it is absolutely flying. But got back into my Xbox. I think I said that last week, so I did a bit more of that this week. It's really like chilled me out. I haven't been on a computer for years, like as in got into a game properly. So I'm currently playing the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think it's called. Someone's going to probably tell me I'm wrong, but it's all the Greek mythology and Spartans and stuff like that. So I love all that period.
That's class.
A few bike rides. I'm trying to kind of, as much as I'm baking, I'm trying to kind of pedal it off.
Work off the lockdown.
Work off, yeah. But that's the worst thing, man. I'll do a bike ride, and me and the boy are like, yeah, we smashed that, and then I'm like, right, wicked, and whip us up a batch of meringues or.
Yeah,
because it comes back, and I'm sorry to kind of bring it back in a loop, but it comes back to that point where it's like, what do we do now? You know what I mean? So it's like, so I've just got to get out of that lull, to be honest, and eat a bit better. But yeah, I'm enjoying the cooking. Did a bit more cooking this week. Had a lot of love for the Yorkshire puddings. That was my first attempt, so there's a few things I'm going to try differently.
They look good, man. They look really good.
Yeah, man, and I was really proud of it again, because obviously it's something I've never done before. So when you're kind of doing things in this period that you haven't had the time to do, I don't know. It's like it all goes back to a couple of episodes ago when I said me and Shane had a really good long chat one night. We were having a drink, and everything has got better from that point. Almost like we've been writing a lot more as a band, which is cool. Everything seems a lot more positive now. It's kind of
positive,
like I've settled into a new routine. And to be honest, whether I'm in lockdown or out lockdown, the only thing I can't do at the moment is see my family and friends. That's literally it. That's the only difference. But the routine is actually going to be our lives moving forward, if that makes sense. So there's no I kind of adapted to that really, really coolly now. And I'm getting in the flow of getting up, or the missus saying to me, what are we going to cook this week together? And so that's kind of kept the mind healthy more than anything. So, but I did find I didn't have enough days in a week this week. I wanted to do paint a certain wall this week. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. And I just find that days have just flown, so.
They really have, but they have. I mean, I feel exactly the same as you there. I just wish there was more hours in the day.
Yeah. I was almost struggling the other day, and now all of a sudden I'm like, bloody hell, so.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a lot more tired of going to bed, where before I was staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning, where you're just sitting there going, well, nothing's stimulating me. I can't go to sleep.
For me, it's the opposite way around. Like I'm doing loads and loads and loads in the days, and even into the evenings, and I'm like half 11 at night. I'm like, right, bed. What else can I do now? What can I do now?
I found YouTube. That's one thing lockdown. I know like younger generations or people who've been ahead of it more than me. I haven't had the time to actually sit down and indulge YouTube, but the amount I've learnt, even DIY stuff like that you do day in and day out. I'm even learning to like sit down and watch videos if I want to try and take on a project, and I'm kind of researching how to do that project. I don't feel rushed. I don't feel life is on my back. I don't feel like there's a sand timer being turned, or I've only got like 4 days to get this done now. I don't know. It's just like, it's cool. Yeah. Really, really positive vibes, So,
I tell you, there's a guy on YouTube. If you're into DIY, check out the New Yankee Workshop.
Oh, I'll take a look at that.
He's brilliant. No, Abraham.
Yeah.
He's class, man.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
And the wife surprised me with an early birthday present to cheer me up, because she didn't want to kind of wait a few weeks and all that. So she bought me barbecue cum smoker. So just a starter up, So I'm gonna kind of have and embrace that man thing, where you put a piece of meat in there and wait 12 hours and go,
brisket.
I cooked meat for 12 hours. So yeah, that's keeping.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's been doing that.
I've never done it, Dave. I've always been a barbecue fan.
Well, he's doing it right for them and cooking it, and my sister's a vegetarian, and I'm so we can't give it to anyone.
Ah,
okay.
I think I'm just going to keep quiet. I'll just stay quiet.
No, I got it. He cooks a lot of meat, but your sister's a vegetarian, so she can't really eat the meat. So he's still cooking it.
And you can't give it to me because I'm a vegetarian. So who can you give it to?
No, the winner is Ronnie.
He's cooking all this meat and he can't do anything with it.
Yeah. Well, I phoned one of our mates, Marcus, because obviously he puts up a lot of videos on Facebook. I phoned him today and just said, look, I've done a barbecue on it, dude. I know how to do a barbecue, but obviously smoking a piece of meat is a lot different, and I've never gone into that. So he gave me loads of tips today on sprays to use and how to keep it moist, and temperature gauges to put in there, but nothing like, it sounds all trivial, but it's not. And it's just something I kind of want to take on in the summer, because none of us know what we're able to do. So it's kind of like, it's just something to look forward to, innit? Just learning something new,
That's exactly why I wanted to start growing my own veg. Just something to do, and it's quite relaxing. Until the bloody sheep go and eat my cucumber plant this week. I tell you about it. And there's still a point now. I have to put a fence up and a gate. I have to.
Yeah,
because I am getting wound up.
Wait till the insects start coming. I bet your old man's told you about that.
No, but I've had the full crash course in
yes.
Well, what's the word? Terry Walton from the allotment.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what, boys, there's a difference in Lloyd for there, because I went down his house. What was that? About 3 years ago? 4 years ago, when I did that allotment with my dad.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, actually, it was when we got the band name and all that. It was around that time. And I remember going around Lloyd's, and me and his old man started talking about gardening, didn't we, Bud? And Lloyd was like, oh, I can't be doing with this. I can't be doing with this. And you went back to the kitchen to make a cuppa. So it's great, isn't it? But it is relaxing, dude. It's
brilliant. I love it. I'm out there every morning, every night, watering them. I'm like, brilliant. I feel like they rely on me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You
yes.
got to talk to them as well, bro. You got to talk to them.
Oh, but I've been singing to them and everything.
Yeah, and there's nothing more rewarding, dude, than when you like pick your first cucumber or parsnip or whatever you're growing. Oh, it's
Do you know,
phenomenal.
all right?
You know,
Soon
there's
as
so
my-
many innuendos going on tonight, innit?
Soon as
How,
my
how moist is your meat?
picking your cucumber.
How big is your cucumber?
Let's have a look at the salad.
Put a girth on that. dude.
As soon as the spinach poked through with a tiny little whatever it's called, I should know this shit. I called the kids out. I was like, "Come and have a look, quick! Come and have a look!" And they come out. And they were like, "Well, is that it?" I was like, "You don't understand. That is like, I feel like I've just sent a rocket to Mars." You know what I mean? Simple things, man.
We are
That's things with an F.
We are turning heads weekly with this CrowCast mind. It's like it's evolved from rock and roll to what are you baking? What are you cooking? What are you painting, Shane? What are you
Listen, it's like you can only be so rock and roll in the house.
Yeah. How's your week, dude?
Can you?
Oh, Dave, sorry,
Dave,
bud.
why do you keep cutting in and out, buddy?
I know.
Do you want
Just
to
ignore it all.
Do you want to log off and come back in, see if that works?
Yeah, I've taken the Ethernet cable out now and I'm going full Wi-Fi, so we'll see.
Try putting it back in.
That's what she said.
Don't bring a cucumber back into this, for God's sake.
Sorry, man.
But no, it's been a bit of a roller coaster week for me. It's the first time. I kind of agree with you, Ron. I'm kind of set in that place now where like all the creativity is working really well. I'm busting out songs and ideas left, right, and center. But it's the first time like members of my family have kind of is hit, and that's been quite difficult to deal with. But we're getting through it, like. But the pigeons have had a baby.
How'd you know that?
Because one shit on my back.
A little baby shit.
A little baby shit. A little baby
Aw.
pigeon shit on my back.
Well, I blame the parents. Should have been wearing a nappy.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I do sell them in a co-op, Dave.
Pigeon nappies. Pigeon nappies.
Yeah,
You're gonna pitch that to your boss.
I sent a photo
Sorry.
to Ronnie to show him. It's just this little pigeon shit on my back. Thank God. He waited for me though, because I literally, as I went out the back garden, sat down with a coffee, and I'm looking like that, and all of a sudden, what's that? Had me. I looked up. Cool. Little pigeon.
Feet of the pigeon took a dump on your back.
Yeah. It was a baby pigeon. So it looks like they're putting the baby pigeons in training to get
Yeah. It's like like a sort of I can't think of the word. What's the name? Like freedom fighter job. You like kamikaze. Kamikaze. That's the one.
That's much better now, Dave.
Kamikaze.
Yeah, you're in the game now, Dave. Can you clearly, mate?
He's back in the room.
I thought I'd give her a bit of positive feedback, David.
Shall I sing a song just to? No.
You can if you want.
Go on, Dave. Go on, give it a go.
No, you're right.
mean,
Anyway,
Well,
he's
you
back.
Put a Von there now. You got no luck or knee luck. They say it's lucky, don't they? When a bird sort of.
Isn't that on your head? If it's shit on your head.
Oh, that's definitely unlucky. I don't like that.
Your left shoulder, maybe, or something, or
Maybe
Is
this
it-
will be part of Dave's Did You Know?
Yeah, is that a specific thing? So it depends.
I'll look into it.
Depends how lucky it is. Madness.
pigeon shit on a crow.
I wouldn't have that fun. I wouldn't stand for that.
Well, but I went then and got some water pistols. So
I got better stuff than that.
Shotgun, you should have got, Robert.
I can't be killing birds, but
I didn't say about killing it.
No, I can't kill birds, but I will give him the finest thrashing of water he's ever seen in his life.
Got a karcher over the house if you want to borrow it.
The pressure washer, that'd be amazing.
Be like Rambo.
Class. Anyway, have we got any questions off these fine people?
Yeah, let's have a few.
Wonderful Crow family will join us every week.
Otherwise, we're going to be talking about Brillo pads next.
Yes. It's not gonna-
So, this is from Pam Davey.
Hey, Pam.
Out of all our beloved musicians and singers, we have sadly lost ... Whom would you have liked to have met?
Who's going first?
It bothers me that I'll never get to see Chris Cornell live.
Did you ever see Oil Do Slave or anything like that?
I never saw him live, man.
Oh man.
So I've literally, he's on my arm there. I get it. Yeah, I think Chris Cornell for me. Next, on to you, Wade.
Next.
I'll go now. I really like them. They're not my favorite band at all, but I think they're really good. But I would love to have seen Phil Lynott with Lizzie.
That would have been cool.
Because like right now we got like the new Thin Lizzy with Ricky Warwick, Black Star Riders, which is great, but they ain't nothing like the original, is there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Freddie Mercury for me. I was never fortunate enough to see Queen. A lot of people probably have, and that's just one band that I wish I would have always seen. Like I never got to see Nirvana live, to be honest, and like we grew up with them. But Freddie Mercury, like for me, that's definitely that would have been a bucket list. I would have. Dave?
I think I mentioned him last week. Probably Jim Morrison.
Cool.
Yeah,
you got to think about Jim, haven't you?
No, I don't know. He just seemed like an absolute lunatic, and I managed to. I saw the Doors with Ian Astbury from the Cult singing for him. I don't know how long ago it was. It was years ago. That was pretty cool. But I don't know. He just fascinates me. Just an absolute lunatic. I don't know. Just wanted to see what his vibe was like. Don't know.
Shino.
Kurt. It's got to be able to. Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I have seen 1/3 of Nirvana. I have actually seen Dave Grohl playing drums.
Yeah, I was there. Was I with you or no?
Yeah, it was Newport Centre. Oh.
Yeah, that was years ago. That was
98.
Yeah.
So the Foo Fighters were on the second album, the Colour and the Shape album, and he come on playing drums.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like,
actually did that on his last tour as well, didn't he, Shane? He played a bit of drums on the last tour.
He did. Yeah, he's done it. When I've seen him a few times, he's done it a few times.
Yeah, so we've all kind of seen like,
when Taylor gets up and does the. Sorry, when Taylor gets up and does the Queen sort of medley, then he and
yeah, Pat was obviously on guitar, and then obviously Dave on drums. So yeah, I see what you mean, Shane. There's a bit of Nirvana, but there, like so
yeah. So I've seen a bit of it.
That was a good question. It kind of that's an hard one for me because there are a few like, and I think it's always the lesson of get out and watch the gigs while you can. Tom, I tell you, who stands out for me is Tom Petty, boys. I was meant to go to the I think he did a performance up in London, and I had tickets and I couldn't make it. And obviously that was the last opportunity that I had to go and see him, and I've never gone to see him live, like So that's a regret. You never know what happens, like So
do you want me to tell you an interesting fact about Tom Petty?
Yeah,
go on then.
I think I might have told you. Well, my mum used to work for Chrysalis Records in the 70s in London, and Tom Petty had come over with his band Mudcrutch, was he? Was he Mudcrutch? And she helped him. She was a receptionist, so she helped him advertise for the drummer for Tom Petty. Is how the Heartbreakers.
Oh yeah,
so that's an interesting fact.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that could be a did you know, couldn't it?
I tell you
when you go later on.
Yes,
no, it's definitely not. It's
I
definitely
tell
not.
you another guy a band which I wish I'd seen with the original singer was Scott Weiland from the Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
I'd have loved us. Again, he's a fucking lunatic, but like, I just thought he would just add that little bit of sprinkle of the ingredient which made the fucking awesome front man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a lunatic in a band. So fascinating.
I think that's why we get along. But
We've all got him, Dave, haven't we?
Yeah.
I love it. Have we got any birthdays this week, Shane boy?
Oh, yes, we have it.
Let's go.
Let me have a look here. We've got Jackie Griffiths. Her birthday's on the 30th. That's from her husband, Dave. Happy birthday, Jackie. We have got Stretford Sue. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Sue. Mads, boys. Remember Mads from Denham and Blether?
Yes.
yeah,
Loads of interviews with Mads up in Scotland. It was her 18th birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to you,
Happy
lovely.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Big love to your mum and dad as well. Incredible parents she got.
Hmm.
The other birthdays, we got some shout outs as well. We got Rosie Harry, 9 years old. We mentioned this on a previous CrowCast. She's ran 26 miles in 10 days. Whilst
Yes.
Hey, there she is.
That's
and she's
amazing.
raised over £1,000 for the NHS. What an absolute hero.
That's awesome.
Well done, Rosie. Well done. That's great.
Well done.
You should be very proud.
You should. Yeah. I know. Done quite a bit of running, and I know how hard it is. So well done.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We've also got Karen and Ross. Wedding anniversary yesterday. There they are. Look, 35 years of marriage.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. That's incredible.
Oosh.
35 years.
Can I say it? Can I say it?
You say, right?
Could have been in and out by then. Ross.
Twice.
Hi.
Your daughter
No.
got in touch to tell us that news. So congratulations to you both. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I think that's
That's
all I
great.
got for you. You got something, Ron?
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of scan over what's been going on the fan page this week. Obviously, a lot of people had a delivery of the posties, so well done,
Right.
boys. Well done. We finally had the CrowCast t-shirts in, and I collected a few photos. So I'm sorry if there's anyone I've left out, but I did my best. Everyone started sending in pictures, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yes.
So just wanted to
Yes.
kind of flick through.
Yes.
They look
It's
awesome, don't they?
Boom. That's
Yeah,
it. I'm loving the
absolutely banging.
posing.
I'm so glad that you guys are patient. Thank you very, very much for waiting. But yeah, there's
Yes.
loads. There's
Oh, it's
obviously
Peteman.
There he is, boy, the prospector.
there's old, Jason.
Jason
Burns.
boy.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, they look cool. It's Chris. Awesome.
They're still coming in. I mean, I'll try and kind of put some more on this. There's another one, and the last one, which I thought was really brilliant, was that one.
Yeah.
That was great. That was.
They look really cool in vests, man. They would.
Yes, they would. They would. Maybe that's
They
something we
would,
could
yeah.
look at. Obviously, they are available at the moment. Thank you to everybody who's bought one. Bloody smashing, fair play. So
Yeah, we've actually sold out in a couple of sizes, but don't panic. We have literally put the order in. They're going to be with us next week. And just for the people that have been asking, the Reaper t-shirts, we're getting them delivered tomorrow. So we will be looking to dispatch them out to you tomorrow and the day after, the next couple of days. But I will definitely get them out this week for you.
Awesome.
You know, it's a bit tough, like getting all these deliveries, you know, with COVID and everything. So yeah, but they will be with you this week.
right.
Awesome.
The other thing I noticed on the fan page, Dave picked it up, so I can't take credit for it, was a lot of people have been doing this, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So they've been like customizing their avatars. So I kind of thought that I'd try and pick a few out and showcase them. I thought they're really, really cool. And then
cool, mate.
I had a message off a very good friend of ours, Mr. Darren Griffiths.
All right.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
we tried to make this happen last week,
Gee.
but obviously Darren didn't realize by the time I kind of upload everything to the system, it takes a while, and So he's been working on his very own those damn Crows avatars, which I haven't shown you prior to this. This is why I wanted to keep.
Hang on now, before you do this, he pre-warned me with this. Now, if he said to me up, yeah, Darren, I'm coming for you.
Who should we
That's a long
start with? Who do you want to start with, boy?
Go on.
You got the pictures, bud. Go from the least.
Now, this is Mr. Darren Griffiths. 10 out of 10 for effort on all of them, mate. I think they're brilliant. Let's start with Shiner. Look at the detail on this. That's brilliant.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. That looks like you, Shane.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed.
I think,
and it takes a lot to impress.
See, he's got your guitar in the background as well.
Outstanding.
Oh,
it's not his guitar because he's got the
he left the scratch plate on.
Yeah.
And Darren, you failed, mate. You failed, Darren.
I'm getting a bit nervous, boys. I'm not going to lie.
Details.
Oh, I love that, then, Lloyd. I won't go to you next. I'll keep let's go to Dave.
Oh, God, here we go. Look at the rabbits and the dog.
Oh, it's a shout out, Dave.
Look at the co-op and the dog. That's incredible.
That's amazing. Oh, I look like I used to look there. I don't look like that anymore, to be honest.
No, Dave, you've never looked like that.
I like.
It's the shark. That's the fucking
shark,
one, mate. The shark.
I like how he's got he's got like Indy at the front. That looks really similar to Indy. Well
One
done,
thing you missed the mountain.
Yeah, he's got the bulk by there though. You see the
go on, carry a bag.
Look like a homeless guy. Like. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really nice.
I'll send you all these.
I'll
send you all.
That's amazing.
You want to see yours, you Lloyd?
Yeah.
I'm going to put mine up next. Here we go.
Go on,
Yeah.
Ickle Ronnie.
I know. I love it on the shorts as well. Ickle Ronnie.
Yeah.
That's class.
I thought that's
cool.
Cool. Look at the football shirt and everything.
Is that Rey Mysterio flying through the air? Like?
Yeah.
Is that drawn to scale? It's got to be drawn to scale.
No way you're taller than the Undertaker. No way.
No, it's perspective, Dave.
All right.
That's class. I love that.
That's amazing.
Come on then, Lloyd. Let's go for Lloyd next.
Oh, I'm trying. Why
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Look at the box. It's like those damn Crows box. That's brilliant.
That was class. Look at the arm on the floor in the fucking toolbox.
We were talking to you and I was telling him how clumsy you are because you've been showing all the pictures and telling everybody on you about how you exactly, but how you put the
thing. A lot of grown back.
It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? I love that.
Doing the fence as well.
The nails with a finger.
Doing the fence. Oh, that's awesome.
Brilliant. Yeah. Nice one, Gar.
Last but no means least.
The fact you're keeping this last.
It's got to have a brilliant fantasy.
Got to be
on a pigeon.
But that is brilliant.
He's got the car bag on, more or less, hasn't he?
He has got the car bag on, man. It's freaking brilliant.
Got a piano, the bottle on the piano, look, and a tea cat.
But that is class.
Oh man,
brilliant.
Oh, that's amazing, Dad.
Fair play, bud. Sure, something's just clicked. Darren texted me in the week and he said, "What breed is your dog?" And I was like, "I don't know. She's a rescue. I don't know what a breed is." So I was just twigged now that he must have been asking because he was putting that together.
Yeah, God bless him.
And it looks like you got it right, Darren. So that's awesome.
That's why I wanted to keep it a surprise, boys, because I could have showed you before we went on, but it's the fact we spent a bit of time looking and having a laugh. Like they were
the suspense was amazing.
Yeah,
Darren, thank you so much, bud. You got way too much time with your hands. Thank you, brother. That's amazing.
Yeah. Cheers,
brilliant.
That's amazing.
I fucking love that. So yeah, that wraps up this week's news.
I reckon we should get them made as posters. We should all have one each. Like a big A2 poster.
That's it. Yeah. CrowCast. And then all of us.
Yeah, we should, man. We should do it.
Let's have a quick look at what everyone's been saying. That was awesome. Shane's was awesome. Brilliant, Darren. Great work, Darren. There's loads of hand claps. Darren, you cheered everyone up there, buddy. That's
class.
Dan Griffiths, awesome work, mate. Fantastic. See, I knew they'd love the Brillo. I thought that was
It's so good.
I thought it was so good. That's absolutely brilliant, that is.
Amazing.
Yeah, more great work, Darren. Put them on a t-shirt.
That's an idea.
Do you know what? We could do like a Brady Bunch vibe, you know, where they're all like all the squares on the screen, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Thank you. That's absolutely
Nice
awesome.
one, Da.
Brilliant, mate.
Should we do a competition?
Do a competition.
Aye.
Let's give some stuff away.
How about the lyric game, Bet?
Oh, say no more, bet.
How about the lyric game? I'm even going to give you your moment now.
What do you mean?
Boosh,
Oh, but that's too big. That's too big.
Back up.
You know me, bet.
Go on,
You know
Dave.
me.
Say it.
I'm not like Dave. Tell me the lyric. Give me the lyric. What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. Tell me the lyric. Give me the lyric. What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
Dave, where was the harmonies this week?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there.
Okay, so the first lyric game this week is quite tricky, actually. This is going to be for the proper fans.
Oh,
All
that
I'm
deep
gonna
cut,
say
is
is-
this a deep cut?
They are, aren't they?
What's that?
They are
Yeah,
proper
they should be.
fans, aren't they?
We should hope so.
So the lyric is "Time's up." What follows that lyric? Time's up. Boom, go.
And what are we going to give away?
We're going to give away. It's a choice, actually, of a calendar or a poster. So if you win the competition, you've got one of each. You can pick or choose. But we got this. We got that poster, or the tour poster, or a calendar. Choice is up to you.
Not bad, not bad.
We've got our adjudicator backstage. And he's also looking who's
Hell of a
who's won
stage, isn't it?
the- just in case we get it wrong. But that's it. Time's up.
Love it.
There we go.
Awesome.
Got a question for us, Lloyd?
Aye. You're keeping an eye on that, Dave, there now?
Oh, no, sorry,
Yes.
Lloyd. I apologize, buddy.
Oh, no, we got another thing, haven't we?
Yeah, it's
It's the wheel.
it's the big wheel of death.
Wheel
It's
of
the
Death.
crow wheel.
So, do you want to explain it?
Crow wheel, keep on turning.
Do you want to explain that, Shane, what we're going to be doing, buddy?
Yes, we've been again very fortunate this week. 2 people have got in touch and asking to pay it forward, so they've paid for a T-shirt to give to one of their fellow comrades in the Crow family.
That's amazing.
So you are in the run-ins to win a CrowCast tee or a point of no return tee if you've already bought one. So let me get this. I'm about to press the button. Press the
Press the-
button.
Press the button. Press it now.
No expense paid.
Literally not.
No one knows who's going to stop.
It looks very PC, did it?
Oh, Julie Taylor.
Well done, Julie.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Julie.
Me Julie.
Me, Julie. You bastard. You nicked my line.
Julie. Let me write that down. Julie Taylor. So Julie, get in touch, lovely. It's a choice of t-shirts there. Point of no return t-shirt or CrowCast, depending on which one you have. You may have both of them, but hey, nothing to do with that. Julie Taylor. Writing that down.
Lovely. Love it.
Oh, Dave's gone, have he? Fair enough.
What's he got? He got his encyclopedia of bollocks.
There we go.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry, guys.
That was,
Did we get the encyclopedia, dude?
Very much luck, am I?
Did you get it?
No, never mind.
I'll search for an update, boys. Do we have a winner for the lyric
No, I'm
game yet?
still looking. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet.
Love it.
Nothing come through yet. Nothing come through yet.
Ooh, do you want to give them a reminder
Should
of that?
repeat the line.
Yeah,
The line is time's up. What follows that? Time's up.
That's a really difficult one, that isn't it?
It is.
someone gives
I
me
might
50
have
quid,
to-
I'll tell you.
Oh, I
I
love
might have
it.
to sing it.
Yeah, I was thinking if you sang it, I know what it is.
That's
I
a
know
good.
what
That's
it
a
is.
good idea. That's a good idea.
This
I'll
is
do
one
it.
of the very lyrics I actually know.
In the meantime, Dave.
Oh, look out.
Oh god, here we go.
Do you want me to write you a bit of a ditty? Dave,
Well,
for this?
no. Shane, I just need a D from you, bud. Have you got a guitar there?
Oh,
Yes,
I
I have.
love it. This is new.
Yes,
This is
yes.
breaking new.
Do you want to just give me a D? Tuesday night, wrong or right. Once again, I'm talking shite. There we are.
Well done, Dave. I like that.
I went seasonal with that one. Completely the wrong season, but
7 months early, Dave, but got it in there.
you know me. Either really early or really late.
Always come too early, don't you, Dave?
I love that, Charlie Farley. Bollocks o'clock.
It's bollocks o'clock.
That's class. Well done, Charlie boy.
Hey, bollocks o'clock.
Well, I got the big screen. I might as well just take ages about it. All right, everyone.
You're loving this, I know.
So,
So,
what was in the news today? Right. Okay. So my fact this week is: anyone notice that Disney characters always wear gloves? Yeah. No.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on,
Yeah.
Dave.
Do you know why that is?
Because the animator drew him.
No, it's too time consuming to draw hands on them all. It's easier to draw gloves. And also they look too creepy and human like with hands, so they
So,
put them in
hang
gloves.
on. So, does Elsa wear gloves?
It was different. I think it's different with the modern ones, but the older ones where it was all stop start
Hey,
animation.
mate, you're talking to somebody here now who loves Disney.
Yeah, but if
I
you look at
love
all the
it.
old, do you look at the old Disney characters?
He don't wear gloves.
Yeah, but that's recent. I'm talking about the old animation.
Yeah,
It's different on a
that's 20
computer.
years old.
Yeah, but it's computerized. I'm talking about classic Disney now.
Okay.
The 1920s
Classic Disney. Now they all wear gloves because it's too time consuming to draw hands because hands are complex. If like the mark of a good artist is drawing hands, isn't it? So they just
There we
too
are,
time
people.
consuming because every frame you couldn't draw a hand, could you? Because there'd be so many
Okay.
frames. So they just put gloves on them and just make it easier. Interesting.
Yeah, that's blowing my mind.
It is.
Dave.
Yeah, it makes sense though when you think about it, doesn't it?
There we are. Someone, this is not me, Dave. I'm just getting the public to speak with you. But Charlie Farley apparently disagrees with you. He's
Come at me,
saying-
Charlie. Come at me.
He's saying, can you read that, dude?
Yeah.
What's your
So
response
somebody-
to that?
Somebody read it because I can't see it.
You know what's happening now? This is turned into me being interrogated every week. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to make people smile and laugh. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay, you are.
Charlie,
are,
I know
mate.
where you live, but I'm coming to you.
Genuinely, this has become one of my favorite features, dude. It's fucking brilliant.
Just prove me wrong section, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
Amazing.
still rocking over the peppers, mate. You haven't. That was the bar. That was.
No, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of Disney, but apparently it's time three fingers. That's what she said, Kev.
Incredible.
Anyway, look it up, guys. Look it up. I don't know.
Right, boys. I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
Shane. Yeah,
Do you agree with that, Lloyd?
yeah, I do.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think we got the right person who said the lyrics. To be honest, I'm looking at her. I think she's the only one.
Yeah, no, man. I that's why I'm scrolling up and down here, and I gotta be honest, it's taken them a while.
Yeah.
But well done.
So I think the winner for the lyric game is it was actually Time's Up. Admit you'd fucked up, and the winner is Sam Bradbury.
Well done, Sam.
Congratulations, Sam. Get in touch. Is a choice of A crow? No, what was it, boys?
Some posters or something.
CROWS
Yes, it was either calendar or poster.
Yes.
It's a choice of poster or calendar. Up to you, Sam.
Yeah, loads of people. Well done, Sam. Well done. That's brilliant. You got a question, Lloyd?
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you get this bollocks information from, Dave?
The internet's always right.
This one's from Chris John. It's a bit of a short one, and it's especially for Shiner. Why does Shiner always leave early?
Oh, it's easy one. What was his name, Chris?
Yeah.
That's easy, Chris. I haven't got the head space for an hour, mate.
Should we have another one quick? Or?
My head's always full.
My head's always
Adrian Velasco. How easy or difficult is it to get the time off from work for touring and playing gigs? Well, for me, I'm self-employed and I'm fortunate enough to have a father which is fully behind me 120%, which I work with. So he's got my back. Thanks, Dad. Wouldn't be able to do it without you, but
Dean is the man.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, he's got your back in with this whole thing. He's got your back.
he really has, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. For me, it's easy. This is the only job I got now. It's the band. So
I second that. And
third
no,
that.
I don't have a tattoo shop because a few people still think I own it or I'm partly to do with it. But no, I am officially 100% member of a Crow. Not tattoo, not nothing on the side. Just I'm in the Shane Greenough Club. Thank you very much.
it's a fucking good club.
For me, it used to be a fucking absolute nightmare. Like stress, like fuck, like getting time off.
It was, wasn't it? But I remember you like pulling your ear out because.
But I used to get so stressed. I give myself like fucking bad anxiety and shit through it and worrying I couldn't do stuff and all the rest of it. But now I'm in a bit of a position. I put myself in a position now where it's not an issue anymore, really. You know, still got something on the side so I can pay my bills. But I mean, that's you know, my boss knows now. That's my second priority now. You know, that's so I'm feeling happier and freer now. It's great, so I can do what I need to do. But in the past, it's been pretty stressful. But you know, it's what it's like. Like I'll put that information out there for people in bands and stuff. You know, you got to make difficult decisions and stuff. And just go with it. Follow your heart.
100%. Well said, bud.
Hey boys, once we finish this, can I just remind Shane, have a look at our private group. Sam has messaged, so I've copied and pasted on there. Can you just have a read of it in a minute?
Well done, Lloyd. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Ronnie, can you take me out of the room a minute?
No, I have a look at our private group. Oh no, you're going to get him, you?
Yeah.
Cool. I was going, where the fuck are you going, mate?
The stream, yeah. Take your stream. Cool. Have you got another question, Lloyd? Boy.
I'll have a look now. Hang on, let me just tick this off because I've had it in the past where I've pretended to test everyone.
Don't worry, Shiner. You'll be leaving shortly, and we're going to be joined by the awesome Mr. Ian Danter.
Swapping an Ian for an Ian.
I can see Shiner looking at the time, going, "Oi, we're already running late now."
You take it away, man.
Here's a funny one, yeah. So this is from Michael Davis. Probably prefers to be called Mike, but I call him Michael right now because that's the name he was given when he was born.
Oh, Mike.
Keep it.
Apart from me, not me now, Michael. Who is the hardest drinking musician?
What, in the band or ever?
Well, no, that's all he wrote. So I'm assuming he's on about the band.
In the band. Well, definitely not me.
Well, no, I think to answer that, we all like a fucking swing.
Yeah.
I say we all have different momentums, don't we? Like, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean,
I genuinely think like me and Shane shocked you boys in Ibiza. That was still a good one. So I just think it depends on the event, doesn't it? Really, like so.
Oh, that's it. I mean, sometimes I like an early night. Sometimes I won't go to bed.
Yeah.
It is what it fucking is. Yeah. It's like Forrest Gump with me, man. You never know which one you're gonna get.
But yeah,
I like a good drink and an early night. That's my vibe, because I get really tired really quickly when I've been drinking. So I fall asleep before I get to a point where I'm just completely smashed. So I think that's my body dictates what I'm going to do on a piss up.
yeah.
You'd fall asleep anyway, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
I remember when we were recording. We'd done a demo with Barry Bayliss.
Yeah.
And right, for everybody who's never heard this story, right? So I think I was like tracking bass at the time, and I looked across, and this studio, we weren't very big. Like it was just a decent studio, but we weren't very big. And then you got all like the consoles here, and like all the Macs there, and you got the outboard equipment, and then behind it you got a bit of a coffee table, two sofas in an L shape with a little walkway into the live room, the vocal booth. So I turn around, I'm tracking bass, and Dave has decided in the little walkway just to have a bit of a kip like that. And then Barry, the guy who was recording us, just literally went to get up. I think he went to go and move a mic or something, and he literally had to just like step over Dave like that.
In my defense, Lloyd, I did have food poisoning from that Indian restaurant the night before.
Oh,
Do you remember?
Yeah.
That's where that joke came from.
Do you remember Peppa Pig?
Pepper.
Do you remember what colour the hotel room was, Shane, the night before?
Oh, mate.
I think it had white walls when we went in. I'm not sure what colour they were on the way out.
You were in a lot of pain that night, bud, weren't you?
Yeah. So I was sleeping it off. That's my defense. But then you could argue back and say, well, I do it all the time, everywhere, which is true. So
Yeah.
I just like to have a little kip when I can.
Yeah.
Lyric game. Hello?
Shado?
Sorry,
Tell me the lyric. What's the next lyric? Give me the lyric. It's lyric time. Tell me the lyric. Give me the lyric. What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
Then jazz hands.
And the next lyric is this. Twisted.
These are the
Torn in
bars.
two. Twisted. Torn in two. What follows that? Boom. Oof. Go. It's not that song.
Do you want to see the answer?
Right.
Another question, Lloydo?
Yeah, hang on. Dave, make sure you keep an eye up.
I'm keeping an eye.
Before as Lloyd's doing that, Sam, the who won the competition. These are the choice of posters. Up to you. If you want a poster, it's these or a calendar. That's the point of no return poster, and that's just a standard studio poster. Up to you. Sorry, Lloyd, carry on.
2 seconds. Hang on. So this one's from Alan Cruikshank. I apologize if I've pronounced your name wrong, Alan.
Oh, Alan.
Alan.
Oh.
This is a question for Ronnie. Ronnie.
Run. Cucumber. Run.
That's enough, right?
Good.
No, voice meat.
Yeah. Ginger Baker or John Bonham?
Good God.
Oh, that's a really good question, that is.
God damn.
That's a really good question.
Ginger Bonham, innit? That's what you want.
Yeah, Ginger Bonham.
John Baker.
That would be a perfect. I think John Bonham. If I had to choose,
I knew you'd say
don't
that.
want to choose because they're both not my favorite drummers. But I think they're both class and they both bring something completely different. So one's a little bit more technical, I think, which would be Ginger Baker. I think he's a better drummer, all round. But I just love the feel and the more the style that John Bonham would kind of bring to the table. Do you know what I mean? It's that powerhouse rock, the grooves, he's in the pocket. Do you know what I mean? So, but yet again, I might have a backlash. I mean, Ian Danter might tell me I'm wrong, but because he's a great drummer. But I would say that Ginger Baker is definitely the more technical. I think. Oosh, I'll probably have a backlash in tomorrow now for drumming community. Never mind, innit?
Never minded it.
You know what I mean? That's hard. That is.
It's an hard one, that is, because
So hard.
like I said, both of them are not my favorite drummer. They're both class. They're class, aren't they?
Who is your favorite drummer?
If I had to choose a favorite, it would be Dave Grohl. So yet again, any of the drumming community or any class drummers listening to this, it's not because he's the best drummer in the world. I have been influenced more by him than any other drummer. And I actually had yet again, I'm going to say it, I had a conversation with Shane the other day. And I think with age, you start to realize who you are, what you like, and you stop answering your idols questions. So, you know, a lot of drummers will give the stock answers and you tend to look at your rock star idols and kind of mimic them. But a lot of my idols are singers, not actual drummers. I kind of prefer frontmen to drummers. And I said that to you the other day, didn't I, Shane? It's like, it's just weird. Like over time, I'm starting to realize it's not a bad thing to say of I'm more influenced, say, by a singer than I am by a drummer.
I remember when you said to me, like, I was your hero. I was like, hey, thank you so much, brother. That means the world.
No, but you know what I mean? I could talk for days about singers like your Freddie Mercury's or Sting or you know what I mean? The list just goes on and on. Even Phil Collins, which is a drummer and he's a singer, and there's just so many. There's so many. Steve Tyler, then you know what I mean?
Steve Tyler actually, they reckon, wrote the drums to Walk This Way.
There we go. See, now drummers for me, without getting too geeky about it, there's a handful that I actually like adore, which would be Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins. Then you've got Stuart Copeland, John Bonham. Then there's Buddy Rich. I like my jazz drumming and stuff. So yeah, there's no like massive standout because I kind of like everything each of them do.
Yeah, man.
Places, but singers, Freddie Mercury. I mean, bloody hell! Like, do you know what I mean? That guy, because it becomes about the songwriting then as well, and just the way they deliver it live to a crowd and stuff. So yeah, man.
Gino Delora, sorry, yeah, Don Henley. You know?
Yeah, Don Henley. There's just so many. Yet again, it's going to be I don't know, like an unpopular thing. But when I say Kurt Cobain, because he wasn't the best singer yet again on the planet, but for a lot of my generation, he influenced a lot of us just because the whole grunge thing and his live performances and that. And he wasn't the best singer live or anything, but they were an amazing band. All right, we never got to see him live, but they're an amazing band to see on like MTV and the energy they brought and that whole attitude. I mean, it was almost like the punk eras and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yet again, Kurt Cobain, that band was different for me because it was like all of them just seemed ultra cool. You know, like Aerosmith are to you, Lloyd. Do you know what I mean? That's word to me, like when I was
yeah.
They're just so cool, like, you know. So
it was the people that didn't do the norm. And I remember when like Nirvana went on Top of the Pops and they purposely it was all mimed, wasn't it? And they purposely did the whole
man.
So it was like no one did that. I was like, what are you doing?
Was brilliant.
He was denying, he was going against the grain, so to speak. And even Freddie Mercury, I think some of those songs Freddie wrote should never have appeared in a rock band. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely not.
But they did, and were hugely successful. So it opened the doors to just doing whatever you want. And I always say, don't have that glass ceiling. Don't imitate. Do you know what I mean? Be yourself, like, and every person you've just said there, Ron, it's not just about how great of a musician they are. It's like them as an individual. It's like, I think that's what inspires other musicians. It's just like seeing somebody just giving them, their persona, and showing that across. And I think that's evident in the Crows, because that's what we do, really.
Yeah, and that's without like Elton John, Dylan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can still. That's what I mean. I can still keep reeling Tom Petty. You know what I mean?
Rod Stewart for me. I love a bit of Rod.
Stewart. There's jams of Rod Stewart I love as well. Like, you know what I mean? You can't beat a good song. We've always said that.
No.
Like, you know, so,
The John Maggie May, I sing that to my mum when I'm pissed. Maggie,
Yes,
I got something.
and that's where the genre war kind of ends. You know, at the end of the day, the song wins. You know, the song is that is the winner of the game. Like, so
yeah,
100%.
Did we have a winner of the lyric game?
I don't know, but
I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Our adjudicator, on the first one, with Sam Bradbury, there was another. It looks like on YouTube, somebody else had a similar sort of timing. So Laura Jones, we'll send you a poster as well if you want to send us a message. Because it looks like you were at the same time. So that's the reason why we got our admin adjudicator backstage for stuff like this. So don't panic.
It's kind of like
Laura, you want a poster each. Just tell us which one you want.
It's kind of like on International Day, innit? When you got the guy in the car park looking at the footage, like.
That's exactly what it is.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's like the VR. It's like bring on the old VAR, like, you know.
Yeah.
Consulting VAR.
Yeah, they still get it fucking wrong.
Yeah.
He spoke. He spoke.
Hey, we can talk about that to the end, but you know.
Yeah, that'd be a good topic. If we can do another passive forward, Shane, because I can see Shiner.
Hang on, we need to do.
Oh,
sorry, it's an hour and 3 minutes now, boys. I've been here a while.
I know.
Hang in there, Shiner. Hang in there, then.
It's all right, but it's all right. The toilet will come to you.
I'm gonna sit here and piss myself now. It's easier.
It's all right. Just get an empty bottle.
I've been thinking about it, Shine.
So it looks like we've got 2 winners again.
Yeah.
This is costing us a bastard fortune, boys.
You know what I say to that, Shane? We got t-shirts available right now.
There you go. There you go. It looks like we got 2 winners. One is Natalie Seddon on YouTube, and the other is Emma Louise on Facebook.
Well done, both.
And they both had. So the line that followed this did tone into "I'm a fool for you" was the lyric, and that was from Neverwin. Congratulations, both. You've got a choice of a point of no return tee or a CrowCast tee. Up to you. Or, to be honest, if you want a poster or stuff that you haven't had, let us know. So I'm going to write that down. Natalie Seddon and Emma Louise.
I love the lot.
I love the lot. I like it all.
These are the bars.
I remember that from the van. That cracked me
Oh,
up.
man.
These are the bars. Holiday.
I tell you what, you sent that over in the week. I was weak, but for about half hour, I was just crying, laughing.
Oh, man. That's brilliant.
There we go. Well done, everybody.
Should we
So
do
what's next, Ron?
another pass it forward?
Pass it forward. Yeah, this is for a CrowCast tee. Let's go over to the Crow wheel.
Crow wheel, keep on turning.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Wee.
Little land, nobody knows. Crow circle. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
I was trying to read it from
Adrian Williams.
Well done, Aid.
Well done.
Congratulations,
Absolutely.
brother. You've won a CrowCast tee.
If it's the Adrian I think it is, that's Adrian, that's Shane Williams. That's to do with it's their anniversary today. I think. I don't want to say if that's 100%, but if that's the same one, like, you know. So happy anniversary if it is, guys. Happy anniversary. But yeah, Adrian Williams.
Awesome.
Well done, Adrian.
It's weird. I said
Brilliant.
that then. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I was allowed. Yeah.
I'm starting it now.
I don't know if I should identify who it was. Do you know what I mean? So
I gotta finish it.
Shiner boy, thank you very much for staying on so late, buddy. Thank you very much. We all know it's that time, don't we? It's that time.
Give my son going, but
Well, they
To
would.
be honest, I reckon he could have been sleeping all the way through that with his
no one
shades on.
knows.
2 points. Dun, 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 dun.
Shine, you've got a bit of a Hollywood smile going on with it because of the light.
Hollywood smile.
It's white as my teeth been for a while.
It's got a bit of Hollywood flu, like. I bet he loves this bit.
Oh yeah, I can all in the head, Dave.
Did that come
What
through
got
all
for
right?
us, Brad?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What bit of knowledge have you got for us?
Well, I'm so up to there with prescribed fucking drugs. To be honest, I don't know what day it is. So
Don't do drugs, kids. That's what you should say. When I'm a shiner,
Yeah.
don't do drugs.
yeah, so yeah, no, I am really good at one-liner. I'm just off to do more prescribed drugs.
Have fun. I'll
Yeah.
be well now, Shine.
They're the ones.
Well, actually,
Dave, you were a fucking...
and then I'm off to actually watch you lot downstairs.
you bastard!
Through the good
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, I know.
Look at his laugh. I fucking love that laugh.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Ross and Karen, or Cars,
There we
I'd call her.
Awesome.
Right, boys. I'll see
Shane,
you
any
downstairs now.
Shane, any chance next week you could have like a one patch, like you look like a pirate?
Well, fingers crossed, but it'd be fucking fixed next week.
All right.
But you know,
Apart
but yeah,
from
I will. But
Rachel,
I'll go all Johnny Depp.
Yes. Well done,
Yes, that's
he's
amazing.
a fucking mental case as well, isn't he?
Yeah, man after my own heart, man. Yeah, right.
Awesome,
right,
man. Good-
yeah, I can see these night people. Well, I say good night. I just don't
good
know
to
what
see
these
you,
fuckers
man.
themselves.
Good to see you, dude.
Boys, if you can't be. Oh, actually, boys, I've got a one-liner. Come on,
it's
it's just popped in it. If you can't be good, be wicked.
He's already done that one.
I don't go fuck it. I'm not again.
He's loving it, isn't he?
Love you, bud.
Oh, he's fucking brilliant.
Fuck it, you're having
You gotta love Shiner, aren't you? Fuck it hell.
Shall we bring in a guest, boys?
Oh, should we have a bit of banter with Danter? Come on, let's have it.
Banter with Danter. I bet he's gutted now he didn't have that for his podcast. I think Dave's gone.
Oh, there we go then. Well done, Dave.
Should we bring in a guest? I know. Well, fuck off.
He's got to get some prescription drugs, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think Dave's gone to get more prescription drugs.
Dave, come back. The pharmacy doesn't open till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
It's fucking brilliant. And the thing is, I'd love to bring Danter in now, but I know Dave will be on a delay, so he'll be like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, brilliant." And then Dave will come in and go, "Hey, how you doing?"
Hi. And then start talking over everyone.
Bloody smashing. I tell you what, that's easier. Let's do that. And let's bring in Mr. Ian Danter.
Hey.
How are you, chaps?
Very well, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm handling it as best I can. This whole lockdown nonsense. This CrowCast has seen me through a few weeks, I have to say. But there you go.
man.
Bit of
Thank
top. Yeah, it's nice to be with you. It's not, you've got an honorary Welshman on the show. I was the first and only non-Englishman to be in City Kids when I joined Mikey Evans' band in '94, and I became an honorary Welshman from that point on.
There you
That
go.
is right, mate. That
Love
is
that.
absolutely spot on. We were on
I'm
about
glad.
that with Mikey because obviously for people who don't know, you're not just on Talksport and Planet Rock. You are a class drummer, mate. So how did that start off? Hang on, sorry, Danter. True professional. I know you're not used to this, mate. I do apologize. There's Dave. Well done, Dave.
Dave's back. Did you wash your hands, Dave?
He hasn't unmuted himself.
Oh man.
There you go.
Can you imagine working with this, Ian?
As well. You'll probably have to go again halfway through this. If he's...
Ian,
Anyway.
honestly, can you imagine working with this?
I've worked with worse. I can tell you stories about some of the people I've worked with in bands.
You've only just come on here, mind. You've only just come on.
Anyway, you're asking about how it all started for me. Oh well, I guess I'd have been. I've got two older brothers, Phil and Bob, and Bob's 7 years older than me. Phil's 5 years older, and so when I was growing up in the mid 70s, they'd started buying albums. They had a Deep Purple compilation called 24 Karat Purple that I remember. They had Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous. I mean, what a great live album to, soak up when you're a 6-7 year old kid. But I can clearly remember my one brother, Phil, bringing home Rainbow Rising. So I would have been 7 years of age. And he had this thing, my brother, about, right, you will, musical appreciation, you will listen to this and you will like it, threatening almost. And he put Stargazer on. And Stargazer, that's it. Poof, doors open. Right, bring the rock on. That was the song that totally unlocked everything for me as a rock fan. But as a musician, I started playing piano first because my dad did. And then drums came along when I was about, 10 years of age, something like that, maybe. So 40 years of bashing away. It's never right, is it? And things like guitar and bass came at a later date, but drums has always been the main thing.
That's incredible, man.
So do you still play the keys? Yeah, no.
Yeah, you probably can't see behind me, but this is my little music room. So I've got a little a Clavinova piano in here and a Yamaha synth that I bought a little while back. That's really handy for recording, because this room I'm in is my little home studio where I do all my recording for making podcasts or making album number 3. Album number 3 is being made in here.
Amazing.
As things stand. So yeah, I still play.
When you started your journey, like you say, you started on the keys and then you picked up the drums and then bass and guitar later. Did you, when you had that influence, did you get in a band kind of in your teens like we did, or was it a bit later? Or
no, first band I was in, there were 3 of us, me and a school friend, Andy, who was a bass player and was as big into Kiss and Alice Cooper as I was. And so we would have been about, good man. So we would have been about 15, 16. And we advertised for a guitar player where we lived just outside Birmingham. And we found this guy, Keith, who's still my best friend, over a quarter of a century later. So he came in and we were a 3-piece, but we didn't have a singer. And they knew I'd sung, and could sing. And said, so will you sing? And there you were talking about Don Henley earlier, like, singing drummers and things like that. So straight away, as a kid, I had to learn how to drum and sing at the same time and sing lead vocals. So it did me good in the end, but it was torture at first, trying to learn that. And that band, that went on to about, lasted for about 2 or 3 years. And we never had a singer. It was just the 3 of us. And then I joined a glam sleaze band in Birmingham called Shotgun Wedding in 1988. And
that sounds good, man.
Oh yeah, they were great. They were already established in Birmingham as a band that played. There was a venue called Edwards Number 8 that was kind of one of the places to play in Birmingham. Don't look for it; it's not there anymore. And that band I joined in '88. I looked dreadful in that. I looked like Doogie Howser, short hair, no dress sense, dreadful, right? But I soon learned how to sort of, look a bit more like the part. And Shotgun Wedding kind of came close to doing things. But I then met Mikey in your hometown in Bridgend, because we started doing gigs in Wales, place like Bogies in Cardiff, the old place on Penarth Road.
Yes, yeah.
And then we, Steve Beebe, our friend who writes for Kerrang still, hooked us up with City Kids because we wanted some gigs in Wales. City Kids offered us a couple of supports in return that we gave him a couple of supports. So we first met at Bridgend York Tavern in May. Is it still there, the York Tavern? Is it still there?
My dad used to own it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Is it a connection?
Monroe's, went on to become Monroe's, and then I think it's gone back to the York now, haven't it?
Right.
No,
it's completely gone now. I mean, it's just an empty shell of a building.
Oh, what a shame.
But
so this was May 1992, So Shotgun Wedding was supporting City Kids, and Mikey obviously was the singer, and Glenn, I'm sure you know, on guitar, and they came up to watch Shotgun Wedding a couple of times subsequently, and I remember early '94, I remember Mikey cornering me one night, saying in the way that only Mikey can, and saying, "You will be in my band." So and it was okay, and that's how it happened. It happened like mid '94. They had some studio time booked at Mono Valley, and they didn't have a drummer. And Shotgun Wedding had just split up. And Mikey called and said, "We've got these 2 songs we want to record at Mono Valley. You know the songs. Can you come in and do them?" And that was how I first got to work with City Kids. Before long, we went on tour with Tiger Tails in late '94. That was a brilliant sort of 10 days going around the country, touring with Tails, because that was just after they'd had their Wasbones period and they'd kind of gone back to being Tiger Tails.
Okay.
And the City Kids, after that tour, we changed the name to Sons of God. So that was me, Mikey singing, Glenn on guitar, and Johnny on bass. And that's just a brilliant band. I mean, I thought I could write songs, and then I met those guys, and some of the songs they wrote, deserved a far bigger audience than it actually got. But what a great band that was. I can't tell you, playing live with those guys, that was really cooking good band.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's good to hear, man. Like that you feel that way as well. I mean, all these years later after it, that's respect as well, isn't it?
You hook up with people you've never met before in your life, and you're trying to work out whether you are compatible musically. We had 2 rehearsals, I remember, in Disgraceland Studios in Newport to get ready for this tour with Tiger Tails. So I had to learn to play to a click because there were some keyboards on a DAT tape that I was having. So it's the first time I'd ever played to a click, playing live. And I knew Mikey and I knew Glenn, but I didn't really know Johnny. So you're just trying to figure each other out whilst you're preparing for a chance to raise your profile touring with Tiger Tails. But that wasn't even a slight problem getting to get along with everybody. I had the most fun with those guys. Some brilliant times. And we, I can give you the hard luck story that we deserve better and what blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter. We just had a brilliant time trying to get there.
So how long was that? Yeah,
that was for about three years, I would say, 3 and a bit years that lineup was together. And I put a photo up on my Facebook last week of how we looked. We kind of predated Marilyn Manson by about 5 years, right? We were backstage at the picture of us getting ready to go on the support sales. And the image softened as time went by and whatnot. But yeah, about late 97, I think things kind of had come to a natural end because things weren't happening for us. Certain things had happened and it beyond our control. And that just came to it. It's a very sad but natural end, I guess. And that was the end of me being an original band at that point.
Was there any, just quick question there. Was there any noticeable differences between like you were in the band then and being in a band now that you've just seen? Just something you could point out. Just any noticeable differences about bands from then and now?
Well,
like
of course,
maybe the way they work or the way they got to make a living. Or...
Yeah. Well, I mean, here I am in this little room now where I've got all the facilities I need to record stuff, and there's Ronnie sitting by his roll. I've got a rolling kit over in the corner of this room, same as you have, Ron. And the ability to create something of high quality as a demo or a track very quickly. Wow. I mean, times have completely changed. I had a Tascam cassette Porter Studio thing that we used to try and make demos on. It was torture trying to get anything to sound even, reasonable when you're trying to demo stuff up. The only way you could get a demo done was forking over the cash and going into a recording. You couldn't demo anything up. You couldn't do half of the wonderful technical things that are available to you guys today. That's a different thing. In terms of actually playing, well, it's just experience, isn't it? Experience teaches you how to play with certain people and how to be a better player. I would like to think that after 40 years of playing drums, I know what I'm doing. I And now I play in this band Leather and Lace, which plays mostly theatres, and that's quite civilized. You know, you're not getting changed in the bogs anymore. You've actually got a proper dressing room to get changed in, and you're done by 10:30. It's, you know, normally wasn't going on stage till 10:30. And of course, I did 5 years in the old Kiss tribute in the 2000s, and that was really bloody hard work, because you go in there, you're setting the gear up. Not only you're setting the drums up, this stupid massive drum kit, you're setting up the pyros. You've then got 2 hours to get into makeup and costume. Then you do the 2-hour show, because we had a 23-song set we used to do. Then you'd go out and meet people like you guys meet afterwards. Then you'd take the makeup off, get back into your civvies, go back out, break your drum kit down because there was no roadies, load it back into the van and drive some ridiculous distance for the gig the next night. It was rewarding, but it was hard work at the time doing that show.
Yeah, that's hardcore. That's hard. I never knew you did that, mate. I didn't know.
Wasn't that weird?
5 years.
Who was the bass player in that band, dude?
Oh, Gary. Well, Gary is with me in Leather and Lace now. I mean,
Right.
Gary formed
Also-
the band.
Sorry, go on.
No, Gary formed the band in 1990 with Ash, who's still doing the Paul Stanley thing now.
Right.
And they went through a couple of guitarists and drummers, and I came in 2005. My first show with Dress to Kill was an expo in the Rescue Rooms in Nottingham, and Eric Singer was the guest of honor, and he came up onto the stage and smacked 7 shades of shit out of my Pearl Masters kit. He was in a crabby mood. He was in a really bad mood. He came up, he did, I think it was Do You Love Me, Parasite, Firehouse maybe, and one other, and I'm stood at the side of the stage and my arse is going 50 pence, 5 pence, because he's giving my kit an absolute tatering. And I must have looked terrified. You know, the roadie was looking at me. You all right? Just fucking look at him. Yeah, that was my first show with Dress to Kill, and I did 5 years playing around Europe and the UK with them, and that was, yeah, as I say, it was hard work for, you know, putting the show together, but it was rewarding.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You mentioned Glenn. Now, isn't that Nails?
Yes, yeah, but
Right.
we always knew him as. I know him more as Glenn now, but he was always Naylor.
I'm with you, right? No, because he's in Leather and Lace as well with you, right?
Yes, yeah,
Cool.
that's absolutely right. Yeah, and Glenn's one of the most talented guitar players I've ever met. I've got a good ear. I found out when I was a kid I had perfect pitch, which helps, you know, for writing stuff and picking stuff up quickly when you hear stuff, when somebody throws something at you. I think Naylor's got that too. And as I said, as a songwriter, he was absolutely, and still is, top drawer. If you listen to the new Son of Man album, State of Dystopia, that came out last week, some of the songs that Nails writes on that, like Auto Devotion, are absolutely top drawer. And he's a lovely guy too. But yeah, that is Nails. Nails is Glenn, and Glenn is Nails. It's kind of the same thing.
Talking about Son of Man, I remember we were on tour. I can't remember where we were, and they pulled up at the same service station as us. I don't remember.
No, we were on the way back from playing the Asylum, and we were in Strensham services, and went in to use the urinal, and Bob Richards just stood next to me and went, "Oh, hi, Bob."
Do you remember me saying
in the morning?
I walked into their van thinking it was ours, and they were like,
"Yeah, you did, yeah."
I was like,
yeah. Yeah, that's a different band.
Bob's great.
Bob's an incredible drummer. I mean, what a player! And of course, he owns that Cozy Pal stainless steel Yamaha kit that he put on display when there was a plaque unveiled for Cozy in his hometown of Cirencester, and Bob turned up that day and put the kit on display for all the dignitaries to see. Like Brian May was there, and Bernie Marsden and Susie Quattro all there to, and Tony Iommi all there to unveil this plaque. And there's Bob sat there beyond his pride and joy, these beautiful big Yamaha drums that Cozy used to own.
He's a wonderful
Incredible.
man. He's such a lovely guy. Such a lovely guy. And a great, as you said, a great drummer, man. He's so humble though. He's like he almost feels like embarrassed. Like I did the Cozy Bash with him last year. But he's like, but he so deserves to be there. He plays himself down. He's a wonderful man, but an incredible drummer too, man.
We all have our influences, and there were you, Ronnie, talking about the people that influenced you. And Bob, you won't know this, but Bob has been quite an influence on me watching him because he's so in the pocket.
Yeah.
Watching him play, he's a very, very economical drummer, but beautiful timing. His playing, I'd love to emulate that. And in terms of, there was a player, I don't know whether Vinny Apache from Dio meant a lot to me growing up.
Yes.
I know we can talk about Bonham and Peart and whatnot, and that's fine. But Dio was like the second band I ever saw live at the Odeon, first tour, Holy Diver tour. And he blew me away. He had a beautiful, massive Slingerland kit, I think it was, like natural wood finish. But the little grace notes he played and things like, there were little things I picked up of him in terms of, because that's what you were saying, wasn't it, Ron, about players you pick things up from. He was one of the main ones. And also Mickey Curry, who plays with Bryan Adams and has done for...
What a tight drummer, mate. He's underrated, he is, yes.
And he's a wonderful song drummer. And he also played drums on the Sonic Temple, the Cult album, which is amazing drumming.
Drums are great on there.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Although, little known fact, did you know, Dave?
Rubbing off.
The demos for Sonic Temple, the drum demos for Sonic Temple were Eric Singer before he became known with Kiss. I think he just toured with Alice Cooper, and he did the demos, but it was Mickey Curry that played the album.
Wow. Now, Vasa, did you know, Dave?
I love the way then. I loved how Dave went, it's rubbing off. He's like, you're like Brian Potter.
He did the point.
Brian Potter from Phoenix I Sent. It's rubbing off.
Stand there. Stand there, Jerry.
Can you smell smoke?
You're not a bloke, are you? Anyway,
No, but it's like you said, man. It's not necessarily a guy getting up there and and doing everything, all flashy and everything. It's just the basics and how he carries it off through a band and how he kind of complements a song as well as a drummer, So
do you know what the great thing was as well, Ron? I got to see Vinny play up close because Last in Line did Steelhouse a couple of years ago. And he was just there on a set of rentals. Wasn't his kit. It was like a D drum kit that had been, brought in from London. And I made sure that I was backstage watching him from, so I had a perfect view of what he was doing. And it was an education, that was, just for 40, 45 minutes watching him play whatever. That was just joyous for me. Watching that.
I did that with the Living Colour drummer last year.
Will Calhoun.
Oh my God. It was just like, it was just, I was memorized. But what I was memorized as well is him and the singer. It was like they were having a conversation. I don't know if you were on the side of the stage watching it or if you caught it.
I was out front watching that, actually. I was out front.
It was weird. Like the singer would walk. Were you with me, Shane? I know I was with John Mitch, and I think you were on the side as well.
Yeah,
were you?
I was with you, bro.
That's it, dude. Do you remember like the singer walking up the drummer and go, "What are we gonna play?" And then the drummer's like, "I don't know." And then having like this conversation. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
It was almost like the conversation. It was almost like the conversation queued up the next sort of track. It was so off the cuff. It wasn't like scripted or nothing. It was just, you ready? Well, bang, 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 and it's in. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
If he's watching, he won't like me saying this, but Mikey was an incredible frontman. Mikey Steelhouse, for those wondering, the man behind Steelhouse, because I had the pleasure of having the best seat in the house watching him for a number of years. And wow, he was an extraordinary frontman. Great singer, but also knew how to command an audience.
Yeah, me and Shane were trying to kind of drill him for some songs the other night. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I would love to hear. Yeah.
Apparently they're out there because Roy bloody owns them.
There is an album that was released posthumously called "We Were Never Really Here," which we were called Sons of God by that point.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, it was called "We Were Never Really Here," and it was just a collection of demos, basically, from kind of the tail end of City Kids through into what Sons of God were for those 3 or so years that we were together. We had one recording session at Ron Rogers' house. Ron Tapau, guitar player, used to live just outside Monmouth in Trellick. We had a session at the old Smithy in Worcester studio there where we did 2 or 3 songs. So that album's just kind of a compilation of bits and bobs. So you can find it. It's out there. It's a nice little snapshot of what we were trying to be.
Cool,
but
man.
They were all mostly demos rather than anything that was really laboured over.
Unlucky Mikey.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to find it.
When we were on the Zoom with Mikey, he was telling us all this, and I was Googling at the time. I was like, I found it.
Well, it didn't sell that well, I'll be honest. But, we didn't expect it to. It was just something kind of self-indulgent for us to do to get out of there, so that we could say, well, that was us. We've got a record of it. A bit like when I did my stuff. It's just an itch I had to scratch, really.
So when you look back now as a drummer, Ian, what's the proudest? What's the moment where you feel most? Oh yeah, that's when I was at my happiest as a drummer, as a musician.
What, are you talking about specific gigs, Shane? About like a moment or something like that?
Yeah, could be. Or what band? I mean,
well, as I say, being in Sons of God with Mikey and Johnny and Nails was really special. Being in the Kiss tribute had some amazing nights. We once played a show in Spain on the beach in Lloret de Mar. You know Lloret de Mar, the kind of a resort place? Mm-hmm. They used to have this thing called Clonfest, where they would have a tribute band play on a Saturday night. And Dressed to Kill were booked to play there. Outdoors, no cover to the stage. It was, a stage built into the beachfront with a lighting rig, but no canopy. Beautiful, clear night. And there must have been 4,000 people there, stretched as far as the eye could see down the seafront, watching us. And we were going down a treat anyway. And then we started playing I Was Made for Loving You. And they just went absolutely gaga for that. And I remember there was a moment where I was off the stage because Danny, our Ace Frehley, was doing his guitar solo, the smoking guitar thing. And I was just standing behind the stage. This is worth it.
Moment.
That was a little moment. I had myself. Yeah, this is a good crack. But yeah, I mean, most gigs you have those little moments where you feel like you're playing well. You're in the pocket. Everyone's with you. I get that with Leather and Lace now, where everything's sounding really neat and tidy and together. So thankfully that hasn't gone away yet.
It won't.
I love that. How did you obviously move? I know some people are going to know this if they tune into the podcast, which we'll give a plug later. But how did you transition from obviously being in a band, and then you went into broadcasting? Then do you know what I mean? How did that work?
Well, it was all luck, really. It wasn't by design that it happened. Like during the 90s, like you guys were talking about the jobs you had. I worked for 5 years in a music shop, a big guitar shop in Birmingham called Musical Exchanges, which was kind of world famous. It was Europe's biggest guitar store for a time. And I worked there as a guitar salesman for 5 years and had a brilliant time. I then got a job working for Laney Amps in early 97 because they just got the contract to distribute Ibanez guitars in the UK. So I started doing that job. But unbeknownst to me, my best mate, the guy I got in a band with when I was 15, he wrote a letter to the head of sport at Birmingham's biggest commercial radio station saying, my mate Ian does impressions of Trevor Francis and Des Lynam down the pub. You should get him on the radio. I didn't even know he'd written this letter, but for some reason, something in this letter piqued the interest of the head of sport at BRMB. So long story short, I ended up doing occasional sketches for him on a Saturday afternoon before whatever live commentary they had on. This is BRMB radio, which was it's Britain's second biggest commercial radio station. And then not long after that, after a succession of I got the job as the flying eye, the guy in the plane that goes around doing the travel reports in the morning for the
Booty Eye, so that in the sky.
Yeah, the Eye in the Sky.
Like
So that was 1998, and I did 2 years of that. And whilst I was doing that, I was learning how to be a broadcaster and doing cover shifts. I then got into football commentary about a year after that. Just stages, guys, you know, a little, oh, crikey, okay. And before you know it, you're doing drive time, which was a really strange thing. But yeah, so that's how I got into broadcasting, just sheer fluke, not anything to do with design or anything like that, just sheer luck.
Yeah, because for us, and I don't know if I've told you this, but I know me personally, I don't know if the boys are the same. We grew up with your voice on the radio with the football. So, you know, it'd always be, and let's go over the dance and stuff like that. Like, so your voice was so iconic to me. And then our friend ends up in a band with you in Leather and Lace. And she's explaining the band. She's like, oh yeah, there's Ian Danter on the drums. And I was like, what? Ian Danter as in Ian Danter Talksport? And she's like, yeah. And then obviously, you know, as the CROWS went on, we got to meet you through Planet Rock and everything. So
that's right.
And then it was just mad. Like when we first met you, you hear your voice, and I can still, like, I've got so many memories, mate, of like driving up the M4 and like listening to you talking about a certain football match. So you know, you don't realize how many people kind of know that voice. Like, you know what I mean? It's mad. It's iconic, isn't it? It was a really good moment.
It is, yeah.
Well, I joined Talksport 16 years ago now when I started working for them.
Wow.
Yeah, 2004. And it was just, I only started there as a reporter, and then within a couple of years they had me presenting programs, and now I'm one of the lead commentators. Been to, you know, watching Wales at the Euros a few years back. Well, that was one of the proudest moments as a broadcaster, going over to France and commentating on Euros and seeing the Welsh beat Slovakia and Russia. So I saw both of those big wins that they had in the group stages. Commentating on those, that was a real honour for me to do.
I was there, mate. Yeah, I was there as a supporter. It was
what, in Bordeaux or Toulouse, or you went all around with them? Did you?
All around. Yeah. I was very lucky, very fortunate. Everything was in place, so I did the whole thing. Like it was a special.
I probably bumped into you at some point and didn't even realize, because we used to have Danny Gabbard on with us, and Danny's quite a shy guy, former Welsh defender, and he used to get accosted in the streets. You know, oh, Danny Gabbard on. Come in here. Walking past the bar into it's Gabbard on. Get him in here. Get him a beer. Next thing you know, he's trading
brilliant.
Five bottles. So it could easily have been Ronnie that was slobbering all over Danny Gabbard in a Toulouse bar somewhere the night before he played Russia.
In Welsh fashion, I love you. I love you.
It was brilliant.
You're fucking brilliant.
It was brilliant, man. Russia was still my favorite game out of that Euros, because it was the whole evening, and like the sun was shining over the stadium, and it was how we played in that game. I was like, oh my God, it was how it switched on. And then when we went to we did the Northern Ireland game, obviously, and we scraped through. And then the Belgium game, everyone was like, well, you know, it's been a good Euros, whatever happens now, happy days. And then that game was just, well, it was tremendous, when it was just like, wow.
Well, yeah, we caught the Belgium game just in time. We'd been in we'd been in Marseille. I'd been doing Portugal, Poland, I think, one of the other quarterfinals, and we caught a train to go back across to Bordeaux, because I was doing Germany, Italy, I think, and myself and Stuart Pearce and our producer got to the Bordeaux train station just in time to see the Welsh go 1-up in that game against the Belgians. So we were in this sort of cafe looking out to the street right opposite Bordeaux train station. And all the French were into the Welsh. They wanted the Belgians knocked out. So all the French were definitely on your side. Yeah, great tournament. And you know, it's been very, very privileged to get the chance to Russia last year. Russia was an amazing tournament. Absolutely brilliant tournament to be part of. So lucky to have been there.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It shocked the football world, didn't it, when we beat Belgium? It just shocked the football world. No one was expecting it.
I was in Cardiff in the fan zone with a couple of friends, and it was like, all the beers were being chucked up in the air, like when they scored a goal. I was literally
What a waste of drink.
Well, that's what I thought, but I was soaking wet the entire time. Man, because
The thing is, obviously, in the previous qualifiers, like in the past, we've always struggled with Belgium. They're such a tight. Well, they're a team that should have been more, in my opinion. They had a very good squad.
They've got an amazing squad, but they never.
Funny thing was, I did a lot of reports on that qualification campaign when you beat Cyprus and then you beat Belgium at the Cardiff City Stadium. And look, it's people ask me where's the best atmosphere, where you go and watch games. And there's certain grounds that Leeds is amazing to go to. I'll say that straight off the top of my head. Leeds is amazing. But I remember they started singing Land of My Fathers at the Cardiff City Stadium with about 5 minutes to go in that game against Belgium when you were a goal up. And that was hairs on the back of the neck standing up. And good old Fortress Ninian used to do that. He used to go to Ninian as a reporter, scared the shit out of you just as a neutral in the press box. They played Men of Harley, they called Bread of Heaven through that scratchy old tannoy at about 2:45. Absolutely terrifying. What have I walked into? Ninian I'll tell you a funny story. I drove into the car park at Ninian once. I know this is 2002 because I had a sticker in the back of my car as a Birmingham fan because we just won the playoff final. So we were a Premier League side. And I was doing a game at Ninian, pulled into the car park, and the attendant goes, "You want to take that out of there? I was you." I said, "What?" "See that sticker in the back? You better take it out, son." "Why?" "Well, there are people trawling the car parks looking for, dodgy stickers. They'll put your window through if you're not careful." Like. So and of course it took me about 15 minutes to get this sticker off, so it wasn't recognisable as a Birmingham City sticker.
Your Welsh accent better than mine. That's
you
brilliant.
remind me of something off Twin Town.
That's being in a band with Mikey and Glenn and Johnny for as long as I was. Unbelievable, geese.
Satellite City, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Shall I tell you someone else as well? Shall I?
There's only fucking hot dogs in this in, boy.
Fucking brilliant. And of course, I'm in a band with Tanith. Tanith, our secret weapon in leather and lace, as you know Tanith well. She's she's absolutely sensational. When she came to audition for us at Leather and Lace, we asked her to sing Alone, the Heart song, and she nailed that scream. And we were all trying to look at one another surreptitiously. The rest of us going, "Yep, she's in." When she hit that scream. So So I am an honorary Welshman, as I say. So, I've worked with a lot of Welsh people in my life, and they've adopted me.
Mate, you reminded me of someone off Twin Town, then. It's fucking only fucking hot dogs in his head, my back.
I broke down in Wales once. I rang the AA. She said, "Where are you?" I said, I'm in Danter, Goslow. She said, "No, silly, that's danger. Go slow." I used to go out with a Welsh girl. Every week I went to Bangor. She said, she said to me, she said, "You can make love to me if you say it in Welsh." I said, "Press that in."
Oh, man.
That's class.
There we go. That's all the Welsh jokes done now.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Have you got any more exploding carrots?
The Welsh accent has been picked up from years of being in rehearsal studios with Welsh people.
Speaking of the Welsh accent, dude, I mean, I don't know if you've watched it, Ian. The Afterlife with Ricky Gervais. Oh
yeah.
I've seen it all.
I binge watched both series. I binge watched series 1.
The guy was just posting his letters in the fucking dog shit bin.
Yeah,
and he was Welsh.
Yeah.
He's a pretend guy, isn't he? I think that actor.
I don't
I think
know.
he's a pretend guy. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, he was in extras briefly as well.
He'd have to be.
I love that series. I don't watch a lot of telly, particularly. I don't binge watch any. Never seen an episode of Game of Thrones or House of Cards or anything like that. It's just passed me by. But Afterlife, I felt I had to watch, and I thought it was
That's incredible.
I was crying and
unbelievable.
laughing, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was brilliant.
Just some of the songs he picks. There was some really clever moments. You know, some of the soundtrack. Some of them, like he picks up that Billy Joel song at one point, and So It Goes. That was me. Gone.
Dude, the postman. I mean, he's what a character.
Oh, Joe Wilkinson. Yeah.
He's amazing. It's just the way he was sort of comparing prices when they went in for a meal, and it was only £1.
It's all perfectly cast, isn't it? It's beautifully done. You don't get
think,
television like that.
They've nailed it. They have nailed it.
So like Ian, going back to your like presenting and stuff, was there like any band, whether it be Planet Rock or any sort of sportsman or woman that you were nervous to interview or anything, like because you were a big fan or anything, or?
Well, Gene Simmons came into Talksport about 7 years ago because he was over here to sing the national anthem at the NFL game at Wembley Stadium, I think, when it was And he came into Talksport, and I knew he was coming in, so I made sure I was in the studio and got to spend a bit of time with him. And I'd met him some years before with Paul Stanley. It was 94 because they were just bringing out that Kiss album, Kiss My Ass, that Kiss tribute album that came out just before the reunion. I was very nervous about that day, and particularly seeing Gene again. But who do I get nervous about? I was a bit nervous about meeting Scott Gorham, actually, before Black Star Riders played at Steelhouse a couple of years ago. Because, you know, there's a question here from Ian saying, what band do you most regret not seeing live? Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
And even my brother, who's 5 years older than me, he wanted to see Lizzy with Gorham and Robertson, but he got to see the last tour, which was John Sykes and Scott Gorham, which he said was fine, but he wasn't as into Sykes' playing as Robbo's. So that's you know, to meet Scott Gorham was a bit of a moment for me, because going back to hearing Live and Dangerous, one of the first albums I ever heard, and hearing his solo on a song like Southbound, which is so beautifully done. So I was a little bit short of breath that day, Shane. I'll admit that.
It's mad you mentioned Thin Lizzy then, dude, like regretting not seeing him, because like my dad, when he was a teenager, Thin Lizzy actually played our local youth club, which is my old comprehensive school. Wow. And like he said at the time, this was just before they charted with Whiskey in the Jar, and he said at the time he didn't have a clue. And fast forward nearly 30 years, well, it might be longer now, about 50 years now. Sorry, Dad. And now I'm in a band and I'm playing all these records. I think he kind of regrets not paying it the attention. Do you know what I mean? But
well, sometimes you do see a band and you don't realise what you're witnessing. You kind of think, oh, they're all right. I do remember seeing Primus in Edwards Number 8 in Birmingham. So it's a club that holds about 200 people. So this is early 90s, and Primus John the Fisherman had just broke on MTV, Headbangers Ball and things like that, and you knew they were destined for something pretty special. And Pantera a few months later, we all went to see Megadeth at the NEC Arena. Pantera was support, blew Megadeth off the stage, and we didn't know anything about Pantera before that. We thought, who the hell are these guys? Saw them at Rock City a few months later. Brilliant, absolutely brutal. One of the best bands I've ever seen.
They were something special, Pantera, man. I got big love for Pantera.
They were extraordinary, and there's another great drummer, Vinnie Paul. Just ultimate
tight, really tight band, man. Him and his brother Dimebag, so tight, like ridiculously tight.
Yeah, that's you get those moments when you're lucky enough to see a band at that moment when they're on the way up. Before they, reach the peak. But, there's plenty of bands I wish I'd seen that I never got to. And Thin Lizzy's probably top of the pile.
What about in the football world as well, mate? Is there anybody you like chuck you a bit? Like you said, Stuart Pearce there earlier, you just dropped it. And I'm thinking, I grew up
Stuart
watching him. You know, one of the hardest defenders in the world. Like, and I'm thinking,
But you know what? He's such a lovely guy to talk, and he just wants to talk about music.
He likes
Stuart,
music.
because
He does like
wow.
I bumped into him
he's
in
a massive.
watching Green Day and The Cure and No
That's it.
Doubt in Manchester some 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Just loves his
I mean,
music, like.
he goes to there's a punk festival in Blackpool.
Rebellion.
Most summers. Yeah, he goes to that every year.
Wow.
He's been to see the Stranglers 70 odd times, I think. And so when you're in his company, when you're in Stuart's company, he doesn't particularly want to talk about England or Forest or West Ham. He wants to talk about music. He wants to talk about punk rock, and when he saw Stiff Little Fingers, or when he saw Sham 69, or when he saw
So
Exploited, or any of the stuff he was into. So
Clever.
to be in Stuart's company, it's really nice, because the conversation is going to go a completely different way than with lots of football people, which isn't a problem when you talk football with other people. But with Stuart, it's just a little bit different, because he'll just go at different tangents. But anybody intimidated me? Well, I never got to interview Sir Alex Ferguson, so I'm sure he would have intimidated me if I'd had the chance. But
You'd be there with his chewing gum, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Wenger was a gentleman to interview, but was sometimes a bit standoffish and said some things that left you feeling a bit bewildered.
Who was that?
I once had a
Arsene Wenger.
Arsene Wenger. I once had a massive stand-up row with Ian Holloway at Villa Park, because he was Blackpool manager at the time, and they'd made 10 changes for a league game at Villa, and Wolves had done the same thing a year or so ago and got fined for it. So they lost the game, Blackpool, and I asked him after the game, you realise Wolves made the same amount of changes, got fined, and he went off the scale at me, went absolutely tonto at me. It's got nothing to do with Wolves. It's got nothing to do with Wolves. You're talking out your hat, because I had a beanie on, not a those damn Crows beanie, but another beanie. He said, "You're talking out your hat. I'd say you're talking out your ass, but that'd be disrespectful to donkeys." And he went on at me for about 10 minutes. I've worked with him since, and he's delightful. He's great fun. I did a game between Villa and Forest with him last year that ended 5-5, and he was going completely mad during this game. When it was 5-4, he was going he's 5-4 or 4-5. He was thinking it was that scoreline. You said, Jack Grealish. He's like watching Jack Grealish. It's like Baileys over ice in front of a warm fire. Now, what's that mean? What does that mean?
He's such a character.
You try and work that out, can you?
And when the 10th goal went in, he starts banging on. It's that Disney mouse, isn't it? It's that Disney 5-5. It's that Disney mouse. And this is going out live on the wireless. But lovely guy. But that's the one guy I've had a big stand-up row with. And the other guy who I didn't get on with, but nobody got on with him, in my experience, was David O'Leary, who used to be manager of Leeds and Villa. He was rude, and standoffish, and I didn't get on with him at all. I found him really, really difficult to deal with. But and that wasn't just my experience. There's loads of my colleagues who had similar problems, trying to get blood out of a stone with him. So he's the one that stands out as being difficult, but everybody else pretty much great.
Jumping on Dave's question earlier about music, obviously you've been with Talksport for so long. How do you find the football then and now? How is your enjoyment changed any? Do you love the atmosphere more because the stadiums have got bigger? You know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of flavour there.
Well, I do still enjoy. I mean, a lot of the commentaries I do are I do Premier League and the lower leagues as well. So normally on a Saturday, I'm doing a Premier League game, and then a lot of the times in the midweek, I'll go and watch a Football League game. What it has done in the last few years since I've been doing more commentaries is I've been to a lot more grounds. I went to Rodney Parade for the first time ever a couple of years ago when Newport got into the playoffs. And living where I do, which isn't far from you guys, because I'm just in the M4 corridor. When I was just doing reports, I used to get sent to the Liberty, go and watch Swansea an awful lot, and Cardiff, and the Welsh games that I talked about. I don't think the game's really changed that much in the time that I've been reporting on it. I don't think the game's got any quick. The pitches have got better. The pitches are obviously all like every single one. Most of them are like bowling greens, each blade of grass cut with a pair of scissors. But I don't think the game's changed that much. And the atmosphere.
If I've noticed one thing about football then and football now is the sort of physicality of the players, like obviously the science in the training and the fitness is excelled. Like if you go back to the early 90s and the late 80s, they were all sinking pints left, right, centre and going out and playing, weren't they? But now you can tell that the players are so physically fit. You can tell by the shapes of their bodies and on the rest of it. I think maybe that might be the biggest difference now. I think.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never been to a football match, boys.
It's good fun, man.
Well, that's all right. We're here for you. We're all here for you.
Take you to watch West Brom, man.
You won't convert me, Dance.
But all that about fitness, Dave. I mean, Arsene Wenger, who we mentioned earlier, he takes a lot of the credit for that because he came to this country in the mid-90s. He's the one that talked about sports science and all that sort of stuff.
Diet and all that type of thing. Yeah.
So by the time I'd started reporting on football, which was sort of 99, just before the turn of the century, that was already kind of kicking in around the Premier League. But the Birmingham teams that I used to watch in the 80s, there was some cloggers,
all piss heads, and
we had a team in the 80s that was pretty violent. There was one group called the Birmingham Six who were
that's right. Yeah.
Players like Noel Blake and Howard Gale and Robert Hopkins and Pat Vandenhow. There was a. You remember the Rotunda in Birmingham City Centre, that landmark right in the centre of the city, the Rotunda. There was a pub underneath there called Bar St Martin, and a lot of the blues players used to congregate in there on Saturday nights in the 80s, and you didn't go in there if they'd lost that day because it was you could almost guarantee it kicking off in there. But I was just thinking about this the other day. All the years, and I don't know whether you guys think the same, but all the years I've spent in rock clubs, be it Edwards Number 8 or XLs or Bogies in Cardiff and things like that, rarely, if ever, have I ever seen any trouble.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty much the few times that I've been to trendy nightclubs when other friends have, they're having a stag do or there's a birthday party or something. But I always see trouble. And that's the thing about rock clubs that I'm trying not to generalize too much, but only from my experience, I can't ever remember anything serious kicking off in a rock club compared to the few times that I went to a trendy nightclub.
Well, that's true. That's right. So I used to go to rock clubs because I go somewhere else and I get a kick in. So I used to go to the rock clubs and get a kick in there. That was true. It's true, right? Because I had long hair. You had long hair. You get a hiding, or you get picked on, so you go to the rock clubs, and that was the way it was. On the other
side of the coin, I remember a guy once wandered into Edwards Number 8, the rock club, suited and booted, almost by mistake. He'd had a few, and he wandered in there. He clearly wasn't intending to come in, but they let him in. I don't know how the bouncers let him in, but he got in anyway. But he had a hell of a night. I remember he was just, everyone took him under their wing sort of thing. Come on, we'll show you what a proper nightclub's like. And by the end of the night, this guy was totally converted. So you remember those nights like that.
He bought Motley Crue's entire back catalogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if he had if iTunes was around then when he was drunk walking home, he would have spent loads.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure there are events where trouble occurs. You get the odd, but by and large, I think rock crowds are so much more tolerant of one another than.
I couldn't agree more. There's such a community. It's like you're not there trying to boast or be the big the big man. It's just you're all there
Yeah.
to appreciate the music. It's I agree with you totally.
And-
But like
and
going back, go on, sorry.
I'm
You
with
know,
Dan.
football's had its bad moments, and I've seen some dreadful things. But even football fans have largely, although it still exists, a lot of the troubles disappeared from inside football grounds anyway. I think most of it goes on outside now, which I don't get to see because I'm busy broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I got to mind from a supporter's point, I haven't seen a lot of trouble, and I've been on the, in the main supporters groups, and I think the worst one was the Euros when that kind of like that Russian thing happened a little bit, but that kind of got put out, and it all turned friendly, and it all turned out great in the end, so. But otherwise, I've been on away trips. Everybody's hugging. When me and my mate went to Belgium away, we were in all the Belgian bars with their supporters, and everybody's hugging us at the end of the game because it was a draw. They were furious because there was a draw because obviously they should beat Wales, but it was brilliant. The banter was there, and there was yet again no bad feeling. Like we didn't feel unsafe. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, some section of England fans have still got that stigma to get rid of. Unfortunately, that there is trouble that follows. I arrived in Marseille about 2 or 3 days after everything had kicked off with the England and the Russian fans there, and they'd only just finished tidying up like 3 or 4 days later when I got there from all the mess that had been caused. But as I say, rock fans, generally speaking, apart from throwing kegs of piss through the air at Donington, and if one landed between the blades of shoulders in your back, then it was all over. I think the one I just missed one. I think Megadeth were playing 88, was it? And I just, for some reason, you just look behind you for some random reason, and there's this massive jerry can of piss heading right for, and I just ducked. I saw the poor bastard in front copped it rather than me, but that's as close as I've come. I don't know what made me look round, but it was just lucky that I did.
I'm out here.
When we were talking about Steelos earlier, sorry to take it off slightly from football, but when we were talking about Steelos earlier and everything, Morag has sent me this photo of you playing in Steelos.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you the story behind that.
Yeah.
That was the year that Saxon were. You can see the Saxon eagle behind me because the curtain dropped. Unfortunately, it was meant to keep the eagle a secret until Saxon came on. But what happened was King was supposed to play that Sunday afternoon, but Alan had lost his voice and they couldn't play. So Mikey asked Neville McDonald whether he could get the Handed Dimes to come back up the mountain and do a set and get Bernie Marsden up to play a song. And Mikey said, right, you and Darren Reddick, you're getting up on stage and you're doing a number with these guys. Well, which one are we doing? What number are we doing? And we ended up doing Wishing Well by Free.
Lovely.
And Neville, of course, has got such a sweet voice and can carry off a Paul Rogers with no trouble whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's me on the Handed Dimes drummers kit.
Dino.
That was
Dino's kit.
So that was a lovely little moment for me. And you can't see Darren in that photo, but he's got his Planet Rock bass just to the right on that photo. But yeah, that was that. And I did also play at the very, very first Steelhouse in 2010. I played with the Whitesnake tribute on the Friday night called Whitesnake UK. You needed a deck drummer for the night, so I stepped in and I don't think we were the first band on, but I was one of the first people to play at Steelhouse when the backstage arrangements were basically 3 porter cabins and a plate of sandwiches. And you've seen what it's turned into now, 10 years later.
Yeah,
that's great.
6 porter cabins and 7 sandwiches.
Yeah, there you go. It's progress. What do you want?
I'm only joking, man. It's a proper operation.
It is, isn't it?
I was blown away the first time I went there. Yeah,
I've got such affection for Steelhouse as a festival, and obviously I've got a vested interest because I've known Max and Mikey for a quarter of a century now, and they're two of my closest mates, and I love them dearly. So from that point of view, you want it to work for them because you know them so well and you love them so much. But regardless of all of that, the way that the festival's been put together, the Steelhouse family that helps, build the stage and build the backstage, sort the bands out and everything, the quality of the guests, the fact that it's one stage rather than two, so your attention's not, you're not worrying about, where do I go? No, there's one stage for you to concentrate on. The beer's cheap. The admission fee is fantastic value for money for camping, or whether you just come in there for the day. There are so many good things about Steelhouse. It just means a lot to me as a festival, because I think it's just a festival that's been done the right way and has been built for the ground up. And
it's pretty perfect, I reckon. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
It's got a big, massive stage and a good sized crowd, but you don't have to like trudge through miles of campsites and like trying to, do you know what I mean? It's literally perfect. You've got everything there, but it still feels like a good big rock festival, still got that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the improvements they made as well, like by putting the big screens either side of the stage, I mean, it's just, they got it right, I think.
Proper,
like you said, just the one stage. And I think I seen something the other day. I think it might have been when Mikey was on you earlier on, a couple of episodes previous. Somebody said, do they have an introducing stage? And he said, well, no, the idea is to give up-and-coming bands the opportunity to play the big stage as a main stage.
Well, you guys know that. You guys know all about that.
And I thought it's amazing.
And, there's other bands that you'll know, like Florence Black from Wales. They've had their chance to play on that stage, early doors on a Saturday or a Sunday. See, I grew up in, when you had Donington in the 80s, it was just one stage, one day, and 6 or 7 bands. And it was really clever how, the festival organisers, just for one day, seemed to pick a really good mix. You think of 84 with AC/DC, Van Halen, Motley Crue, Y&T, Ozzy, Gary Moore. What a flipping lineup that was, just for one day of music. And like 88 with Maiden, Kiss, Dave Lee Roth, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses, and Halloween. So there's an art to putting a bill together on one stage where there's nowhere else to go. I think there's a real art to that, and I think Mikey and Max, what they've done. All right, it's over 3 days now, so you have 2 full days and a Friday night. But I think they've really worked hard on the art of putting a blend of acts together on one day or one evening that they're different, but there's still a thread running through them that unifies them all. I think that's testament to what Mikey and Max have done over the years. It's brilliant.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just the team they got around them as well. There's so much love for the festival. Like, everybody pulls together. And I'll never forget last year pulling up to the site and Mikey, was down at the bottom of the hill, sort of diverting traffic here, there, and everywhere. And that's the guy who does the festival. He could have got anybody to do that, And it's just a wonderful feeling going there. It's just like you said, it's family. It's a wonderful festival, and we love it to bits, and we're so glad to be on it next year.
And nice and high up the bill as well. I would hope by that time, might even get to headline. There you go.
Roddy, well done, boy.
But the Steelhouse family, they are amazing. I mean, and the one thing I always knew, even before the first Steelhouse that I did back in 2010, the one thing I've known from being in Welsh bands, being, around with Mikey and Nails in Sons of God and get to know the Tiger Tails boys, and there was always a really good network of sound engineers and road crew around South Wales that I knew that if Mikey and Max were able to conscript them, they would be able to be brilliant at what they did. And I think of Mark Kane, who works the stage manager. I've known Mark for a quarter of a century. Stickler for, gets everything right. You think of, and people like John, who assists him, John Hill, and Betty, who does the food backstage for the bands, and Joe, who's artist liaison, and Amy, and all these incredible people that give up their time because they love to be there. I'm getting a bit emotional talking about.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's, a lot of people don't, like, as a punters, they don't often see that, like what goes on behind, like having all your stage crew, and how important it is to have good crew.
When you got the changeover in bands, you got 15-20 minutes to change a drum kit over and a whole set of amps and things like that, and it's done with so little fuss.
I mean, like Nick Burt and Nico, I mean, who was in Switchblade. It was when we first played Steelhouse when I met him, and he became a really good friend. And how calm he is, and how it's just stress free. Even when something goes wrong, it's stress free, and they get the job done.
We know that Steelhouse sometimes falls victim to the weather, and that creates its own set of problems for everybody, for punters to try and stay dry, and for the stagehands to keep the stage dry and to keep the act safe. And there was that massive thunderstorm. I don't think you were there 2 years ago, Saturday afternoon. I think Aaron Buchanan and the Cult Classics, I think, were on at the time, and they had to curtail their set because there was threat of lightning over the stage, so they had to sort of cut their set short. And then Dan Reed came on. That's right, Dan Reed came on with the network.
I was there for that, yeah.
And a rainbow suddenly showed up just before they played Rainbow Child because the rain had stopped, the sun had come out, and that was pretty perfect timing. So, but wasn't, I mean, last year was just glorious in terms of the weather, and Mikey and Max earned that for all the years when they'd had, so much rain to try and soak up with hay bales and straw and goodness knows what. They'd earned last year with 3 days of unbroken good weather.
Yeah, I remember saying on the stage they would do a good one because it's years of shit.
Yeah, and we got to flan them as well because the Phantom Flanflinger from Tiswas was there last year, the genuine Phantom Flanflinger. So we got him dressed up and gave Mikey and Max a custard pie just before Lizzie came on at the end.
So as a musician, Ian, like I'm looking at your artwork at the back there, your T-shirt and stuff. Is Kiss the ultimate band for you? Is it what's the band?
Well, I was talking about Rainbow and Stargaze, and that was the song that kind of was a bit of a gateway for me getting into rock music because of my older brothers. Yeah. So a couple of years after that, so you bear in mind I'm about 10 years of age by this point, and little brother liking the same music as big brother, that's not cool. It was like, piss off and go and find your own music.
Yeah,
you can't listen to Lizzie or Deep Purple anymore, Rainbow. Go and find your own stuff. Now, my cousin, who was older than all of us, my oldest cousin, lived just around the corner. My mum's sister and their family lived just around the corner, just outside Birmingham. And he said, you can borrow one of my albums anytime you like. So I went round to his house and I'm flicking through, and he had 4 Kiss albums at the time. He had the Ace Frehley solo album. He had Double Platinum, which was the first greatest hits collection. He had Destroyer, and he had Alive, the first live album from '75. Now, I mean, the Destroyer cover is pretty eye-catching, but there was something about the Alive cover. I pulled that out. I'm taking this one home. And my cousin said it was all right. And I put that first side on. I can still remember it. I can still picture it vividly. It was blood red vinyl, Kiss Alive on the Pi record label, which was how it got distributed in the UK. And I'm not joking to you that the first 5 songs on that album, which was Juice, Strutter, Got to Choose, Hotter Than Hell, Firehouse, 15 minutes of music that changed my life. Because whilst Rainbow and Lizzie had opened certain doors, there was something about the energy and the drive and the power and the atmosphere and everything about those 5 songs. That was it. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be in a rock band, I think, from that point. I think that was what switched the light on in my head.
And what age was that?
I wanted to... 10. I would have been 10 years of age, something like that.
That's great.
I wanted to be a rock star.
Yeah.
So delusions of grandeur kicked in from that moment on. The funny thing was, I was so terrified that sides 2, 3, and 4 wouldn't be as good as side 1. I didn't play sides 2, 3, and 4 for weeks until I had the nerve to flip over and stick on side 2 of Kiss Alive and realised, well, there's things like Parasite and She on that second side, which are, again, incredible tracks. So, so Kiss became a thing for me. That painting behind me there, that was painted by Greg Hart from Cats in Space, who's a very, very talented artist. And that's his own original painting of when Kiss were on the Empire State Building for a photo session in the mid-70s.
Wow.
So Greg painted that, and I got that from him. Fantastic job. So yeah, Kiss has kind of always been the basis for the music that I love. I love loads of other stuff, but yeah, I always come back to Kiss. I stuck with them through The Elder. I was that committed. I let them release the concept album, and I still loved them for it.
I let them.
I let them.
That's brilliant, man.
So
I'm gonna have to use that line, dude, in the future. I let them do that.
I let them do the concept because I knew Creatures of the Night was coming hot on its heels. So you're all right. You can do a sub Pink Floyd album. I'll let you, because I know I Love It Loud's 2 years away. I'll have a bit of that. Thank you very much.
I want to talk a little bit more about Leather and Lace as well. Obviously, I think I got this right, because I was saying to Lloyd before we came on, you put up a massive tour poster, which obviously you were supposed to be hitting the theatres hard this year, weren't you?
Yes,
I remember seeing that, because I remember going, wow, fair play, they got a lot of dates. So for anybody who's caught you, they're obviously going to be rescheduled. That's going to be the plan.
Yeah, well, it's everything's up in the air, isn't it, at the moment with gigs. It was nice to see Cheap Trick announcing those dates for April next year today. Nice to see that. Yeah, KK's Steelhouse will be a good show. But yeah, all bets are still off, for everything that I do, really, whether it's being a drummer or being a football commentator. It's all still very much up in the air. So it will be we might have to wait until this time next year before things get back to relative normality. I just don't know. But yeah, we did have a lot of gigs in the old diary, but they'll have to wait. Some of them won't get rescheduled. Some will. It just all depends on the luck of the draw, really. But there we go.
Yeah, it's just
the way the cookie crumbles.
We've been saying the same. We can't wait for everything to start getting announced maybe for next year. So it gives everybody a little bit of hope, because at the moment we're going through the same thing of we're noticing every day shows being cancelled. I mean, it's even got the stage with us now where we might even find out on the fan pages. Do you know what I mean? Or because it's just nobody knows what's happening at the moment. So we're kind of looking forward to getting the news out about next year, and then obviously starting to fill people more with hope of how we get back to it. So.
I feel for you, chaps. I feel for you, because there's you and Shane saying this is a full-time thing for you now, and you need that confidence and that sure-footed knowledge that everything's going to be okay, and you can actually put plans in place that you can follow through properly. So fingers crossed for you guys as much as anything else, that things clear up and you can get back to continuing that lovely ascent that you guys have been on in the last couple of years. Because I remember Roy giving me a copy of Murder and the Motive a few months before it came out. Roy, for those that don't know, is like your Svengali, isn't he? Old Royland.
Svengali.
The old CNI, like.
Yeah. And
brilliant.
I knew when I first heard Blink that there was something different and special about what you guys are doing. It's been hammered home by the times I've seen you playing live. So I only hope that things clear up so you guys can continue on the trajectory that you've been on. I keep my fingers crossed for you as much as anybody else in this business.
Thank you, man. And
Thanks,
I
man.
remember that moment because yet again it was a surreal. Because like I said, we've grown up with your voice, listening to Footy, and I think I texted one of the boys or whether Shane told me he was like, "Fucking hell, Ian Danter's just retweeted Blink of an Eye." In a proper Welsh. I said it as Welsh as I can, but we were like, "Fucking hell, is Ian Dant?" So,
I mean, getting onto Planet Rock because Planet Rock was again another. Wasn't planned by me. That was just them approaching me. Oh God, would it be 4 years ago now? Maybe 5. Asking if I could do cover shifts for either Paul or Wyatt or Darren, and that was a real honour to have been, approached by them to ask. So being a Planet Rock cover presenter is a fantastic thing for me. It's a lovely string to the bow, and it gives me a chance to play your stuff, whether it was Blink a couple of years back, or whether it was like Who Did It that we A-listed, and things like that.
I'll be honest, dude. I listen to Planet Rock most days when I'm in work, and
we come in for a lot of stick, and there's a lot of stick that comes Planet Rock's way. That you play the same stuff.
No,
you get these emails that you all you ever play of Lynyrd Skynyrd is Freebird, and
well, I've heard that smell on there.
Well, that smell. Give me back my bullets. Give me 3 steps. Saturday Night Special. There's so many Skynyrd songs we play. So you
just gotta listen to it. You just gotta leave the radio on and listen.
I saw a tweet from a former Planet Rock presenter the other day saying that stations like us were told what to say. We have scripted, lines to say in between each record. Absolute rubbish. It's not true. I've never been told what to say in my life on Planet Rock. You just use your own intelligence to, mention the station name. That's what most presenters are there to do, when you have a moment. But no, I've never been told, right, this is what you have to say. Apart from when there's a competition, you've got to do a script for. That's fine. But other than that, no.
I think it's great radio, man. I really enjoy listening to it. Like all the competitions you have on there. It's really good. I mean, what was the answer today for the 13 grand? It was the Eagles, and no one answered.
Well, you see the Legends thing. Yeah, I've not been on for a few months because obviously since lockdown, Paul and Wyatt and Darren haven't needed any cover because they've been working from home in their own home studio. So I've not been needed on air. But yeah, it's still great to listen to. And the one thing I've noticed in the time that I've been with Planet Rock, so it's been about 5 years now, is that they play more new stuff now than when I first started. Definitely. Typically, when I first started, they would play 1, maybe 2 current songs an hour. It's much more than that now because with bands like Wayward Sons and yourselves, Inglorious, I guess, Massive Wagons. Those sorts of bands who've got themselves FM, get on the early list with new stuff. So, it's making the effort to give new artists a chance. And the new rock show that Wyatt does, that's a proper show for showcasing talent that otherwise wouldn't get heard.
I do think hand in hand though. It's a case of like. I've seen a lot of tweets and I've seen a lot of sort of like you said about the flack the Planet Rock to get because they don't play new stuff, but you have to be at a certain level and as opposed to like how many albums had successfully singles have been
you would think, Shane, that I would be able to get my stuff played on Planet Rock because I work there. Doesn't happen that way.
No,
the stuff's got to be good to get heard on Planet Rock. So I did get one song played. I did a song off my second album got played on Wyatt's show long before I started working there. But no, it's about what is good and what is going to catch the ear. They have playlist meetings. They have lots of songs get thrown forward from pluggers and record companies, and they all get listened to. By and large, everything gets a fair hearing. So and that's where you guys would have had your opportunity, because Blink, or a song like Blink, would have come up in a playlist meeting. And I would imagine most of the people in that room who would have heard that Blink for the first time would not be aware of what you guys were about. They might have heard the name, but those are important moments when you can catch the ear of people in those meetings, and you get yourself on a B list or an A list. And
it's also backing up that single. You may have a great sort of single, but you have to back that up. As in, like, what's the next single, or what's the next tour, or what's the album like? And I think I remember saying to the boys, I personally didn't think we were planet rock sort of material.
I can remember that, yeah.
Why? What was your theory behind that?
I just thought we were like hard rock, and I don't know. But at the same time, I guess I was thinking that we deserved that spot, but we hadn't done the graft yet. And I think so many bands out there these days, or people that kind of send those text messages to Planet Rock, if your band needs to be at a certain level to get on national radio. You can't just have, you may be lucky what you have a single and it blows up. Congratulations. But I think you have to be at a stature where you may have a great song like Blink, for example, but then there's other songs to follow. I think that's what Planet Rock kind of needed to hear from us. It was, okay, great, we had Blink, but what's next? And then
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
We followed up with Point of No Return, and then Planet Rock are completely behind us now. Huge support from Planet Rock, and it's a wonderful thing. But you have to prove yourself as a band. It's not just a one-hit wonder. It's
this is the interesting thing, because you're in a position now where, like, Point No Return's, getting a lot of notice, and it's a clear progression from Murder and the Motive, and I'm sure that you guys and Shiner, when you get together, you're trying to write that next great song. When you're a band that's trying to make it, and you might remember this, certainly in Shotgun Wedding Days, I can't remember the sheer number of times that we rewrote the set and we didn't stick with a song for as long as maybe we should have, because it didn't get us international recognition within 3 months. So suddenly it gets jettisoned and you write a new song because you think it's better. And I sometimes wonder whether bands, when they're on the way up, make the mistake of getting rid of songs too early, because they get bored of it, I suppose, in a way, or they think it doesn't stack up. But I can think of...
That's a great point, because we obviously released Murder the Motive individually as a band. Then Uric came along, realized they had this sort of band, this great album. Okay, we added more songs to it, which made it probably stronger. But they saw that. They saw the quality in the album and trying to push it further. It's just one of the things that we were lucky, I guess, to have a label at the time to repackage it and resell it, because we were not going to hit the numbers we wanted to, because we were doing it independently. But it is mad, because we knew Blink was special, but we also knew that the new stuff was going to be sonically a different level. So it is. But at the time, I know we were all like, Planet Rock ain't playing us. Why ain't Planet Rock playing us? But we weren't at that level yet. We weren't established. We hadn't done a UK tour. We hadn't done our own thing. We were off the back of somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where bands get it wrong, I think, sometimes. It's like, just because you write a great song, you need more than that. You really
but what I've seen a very natural progression for you, for the CROWS, culminating in your performance at Rockstock last December, when you stepped in at the last minute, when it was Heat that couldn't do it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, the sign for me was on the Friday lunchtime. I was in the second stage, the acoustic, because there were a few acoustic sets going on.
Yeah.
And John Norman, guy at Planet Rock, head of marketing, came to me and said, right, you just need to announce that Heat can't make it, and we've got those damn CROWS in to replace. Now, you weren't there, but I'll tell you honestly, when I made that announcement, Heat can't make. Got some bad news and some good news. Bad news is Heat haven't been able to. Vigo's sick or whatever it was. Forget what the reason was. But coming into replacement tonight are those damn. I didn't even get to CROWS. The cheer, the roar that went up in that room with about 250, 300 people in there before it even said the word CROWS.
Wow.
Just told me all I needed to know about what was in the public consciousness about you. And then when you went, you absolutely delivered that night at Rockstock. I was dead proud of you, the way you performed that night, because that was you only, that was your stage. You commanded it, all five of you. It was a glorious little moment. That.
It's good fun. That was. Enjoyed that.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I think it's kicking off on the right here. Shane Wright, everybody. Shane's my friend. You haven't got to give him a hard time. He's just having a joke. That's all.
What's he doing?
He put a comment up saying those Am Crows will be huge as soon as they get a decent bass player. And then someone's called him rude. He's not. Everybody's not wrong. Like he's not wrong. So,
don't be like that.
Yeah, I'm only joking. I'm joking. But no, don't give him a hard time. He's a good guy.
Peace and love, everyone.
Yeah, man. Peace and love. Not that. It's that. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like saying about the Planet Rockstock, mate. When we got the call, it was an immediate yes from the camp. We were just like, I think we only had like 2 days. 2 days. Was it the day before, Lloyd? I can't remember now. It was like the day before.
Yeah. 2 days. It was the Wednesday we got the call.
Wednesday we got the call. Can you do it? But it just seemed, from our point, there was no pressure. It was just, we were so looking forward to it. And like, I think it's really important, like when you were on about bands and mistakes they make and do they leave out songs? There are a lot of bands I've been in. I hope previous members are listening to this. The arguments I used to have when a good song got over and they wouldn't want to play it in the next gig. It's almost like you're sacrificing a potential career, like, because you're not listening to your fans. And I think from day one, if people say, why did the Crows get success? We never had people all over us at the start. You know that, Dance. There was nobody all over us. We were never one of those fortunate bands, you know what I mean, who get the leg up. We did the groundwork. We kept knocking on doors. We were one of those bands who felt, why aren't we getting no chance? And you have a bit of a moan and stuff like that. But you keep your head down, you keep battling. But the most important thing, I think, our band have won our own battle is because we listen to the fans. If the fans like Blink of an Eye, we play Blink of an Eye. If the fans like Breakaway, we play Breakaway. I mean,
I think a lot of bands panic, though. Young bands, that is, when they start to make their way, they panic because they've not made that next step up, and the first thing they look at is the set and the songs. And unfortunately, and my band was as guilty of this as anybody. You get rid of songs that you really shouldn't, because you somehow fall out of love with them. You think they're the reason why you haven't made the next step, and sometimes it's just the right person hasn't seen you play that right song. And it's a very, very difficult juggling act for bands that are on their way up to know, right, come on guys, keep with the set, keep with these 10 songs, because these 10 songs, we don't need to add to these just yet. Let's give these songs their due for 6-12 months, and let's see what happens with it. Whereas lots of bands start rewriting the set every 3 months, and
I've been in one of those bands, mate. I've been in one of those bands where you can feel a song is getting over, but then the next gig they want to take it out because they want to put a new one in that nobody knows. And then obviously it's that old syndrome of when you play a new song, you're a new band anyway, so every song is pretty much new. Yeah. But they're always, even the ones who've come and maybe watched you 2-3 times before, they're yet again taking in the new stuff, so they're not into it. But like Rockstock is a perfect case of, by the time we got there, I mean, somebody made the comment of, it feels like you've been around for 10 years and you've had hits on every national radio. It's not. It's just the songs. the songs have become the fans, so they love those songs. So when we turn up to a gig, they make it easier. Like we talked about last episode, Shane wasn't on his best performance, as he put it, in Wolverhampton, but the crowd helped him through it. And like, I think keeping those songs in there as a steady rock has really helped our band. Like, you know, working out what hasn't worked, taking tips from older musicians who do a great job, and then putting in little interludes or little jams where they work, getting the crowd involved, you know, looking at it as a show. Like, you've been in so many bands where you understand the show, you know, the Kiss tribute, it's a show.
Yeah.
You know, Leather and Lace, it's a show, like, you know. So anybody can go and watch.
Shotgun Wedding was a show. Sons of God was a show.
Like you said, Mikey, amazing frontman.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what genre it is, grunge, punk, metal. If you go and watch a show, that means that the whole thing has taken you. If you just go and watch five guys who don't give you much on a stage and they don't really have any songs, then that's going to be an hard thing.
You know,
like, you know,
there's a training ground.
Everybody wants to have a good time when they watch a band, and I mean, our songs are their songs as well, you know. So it's
there's a training ground for all musicians. You know, you learn how to master your instrument, and then you have to learn how to master being on a stage and interacting with other musicians, and that happens for drummers just as much. You know what it's like, Ron, trying to be. You get noticed anyway. You know, they get the Ronnie chants go up. You become a focal point for this band, and that doesn't happen very often with drummers. Drummers aren't often, they don't get that little place in the spotlight. So, you know, make the most of that, because that's rare. Or rare.
I've been told that now by a few people. They and I know what you mean there, mate. It's like what I said earlier. It's hard to think of many drummers that influence you, because there's just so many talented drummers. But when you talk about frontmen, it's the charismatic of a frontman, you know, and their personality comes across. And I remember we were in Ibiza, and we were speaking to Terry Chapman, and she said she could see a lot of characters in the band. So we just try and be ourselves on stage as well as life. You know, Shane says that to us loads. We're quite big personalities anyway. You've hung out with us, and if you can take that to the stage and try and kind of put it out there, then it's up to everybody whether it's their cup of tea, like, you know. So
absolutely, yeah. Obviously, Shane's job is the most important.
Yes,
but everybody else plays their part. You know, Shiner. I know Shiner doesn't say a lot, but you know, his job's just as important as anybody else's, and so's
absolutely.
Dave. You know, everyone's got their role to play, and if you're having an off light, like you said, Shane wasn't at his best in Wolverhampton. It's your job, Lloyd. It's your job, Dave. It's trying to, you know, check
lift the spirits. Let's lift the spirits, and let's get through it. I mean, I think we do that. We do that naturally for each other without even realizing.
Shane actually said that, and I had no shit. He was like, "Boys, we're all in it together," like, you know. So everyone had to leave everything there, not because we're quite cautious on the backing vocals, which he's been trying to kind of prod that. That's the best way to say it. So he's kind of prodding it so we get more confident, more comfortable. And if you are going to hit the bum note, then you've hit the bum note. You look at the show back like we do. We're very, very critical of what we do. And then we go, right, how can I put that right? Like, you know, or we've looped.
I tend to leave that until I've always been a fan of leave the gig on the stage.
Absolutely.
If you start analysing the performance 10 seconds after you've walked back into the dressing room, I don't think that's healthy, because you just need to accept what's done is done. I mean, the number of Dress to Kill shows, which they're long shows, they were like 2-hour shows we used to do, and you know, I'd be so tired, and you'd get to like maybe Love Gun, so we're getting towards the end of the set, and the pyro would go off, and you do. Off you away you go. Suddenly you get a second wind from nowhere that you weren't expecting, and then that carries you through. And you might 10 minutes before, I might be, I'm not sure I can make it tonight, but then something sets you off, and you get a second wind, and you just have to take advantage of that. But if you feel you're having a bad night, there's not much you can really do about it other than just keep concentrating, and the worm will turn for you.
Yeah,
but yeah, you've got your bandmates to help you out at the same time.
you bang on, and there's so many nights where I've gone, oh crap, my voice isn't there tonight. But I think sometimes if you focus on it, I think you put yourself in a real bad place. And then, like you said, you get that second wind. There'll be something from the crowd or something from Lloyd. Do we look over and just pull a face in mine, or Ronnie, and something just changes your whole mindset. And then the next half of your gig is completely different because it's not. I think sometimes, like for me, my biggest thing as a performer is that I overthink big time. I'm like consciously in the moment, and it's a good place to be in the moment. But because you're focusing so hard on performing so well to the best of your ability, you lose that, I don't know, that natural sort of, I don't know, with the crowd, that disappears and it becomes constraint, and you worry, and then the fear kicks in, and then you lose your performance. But when I see the boys, sometimes it only takes something, the boys, to spark something, and I've forgotten about me as a performer. It's about the band. And sometimes, well, categorically, the band is bigger than any of us on stage. But I have found myself where I'll be starting the gig thinking, right, I need to be this, I need to be that. And by the end of it, I'm like, that's gone, because something the boys...
What was it Neil Peart said? Drumming is the hardest job, but the singer's job is the worst job.
I'll confirm that. Yeah.
But yeah, you shouldn't. You can worry yourself into an early grave as a performer, but you just have to know if the chemistry of the band can see you through an awful lot. But we go back to what we were saying originally. Yeah, you need the songs, and now you're in a position where you've now got 2 albums out there, and now you're thinking, right, okay, what's next? Where's the next Blink? Where's the next Sin on Skin? Where's the next, who did it? You're looking to better yourself all the time, because you're doing your growing up in public now. You're not doing your growing up, to 25 or 30 of your mates in local clubs. You're growing up as a band in the full public gaze. That's tough, man.
Yeah, that's warts and all. Do you know what I mean?
But we I think we thrive on that, because the one thing I'll say about this band is, it's like, as Ronnie said there, warts and all. We don't really care about that. So it's like, what you see is what you get, and I think that'll only work in our favor, because I think the next album will be killer. Okay, there maybe not be a big sort of song like Blink, but no, bullshit. There will be. We'll
demand it, but do you know that? We'll demand it, like,
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. That's the thing with us. We're so focused. We're so determined that there's not even a case of, nah, there won't be. There will be. It's a great...
I have that belief in myself. I've released 2 albums of my own material in the past, 6 or 7 years, and I'm working on a 3rd album now. And yeah, I have a certain amount of belief in my own abilities as a songwriter, and I know I've got 1 or 2 songs that I think if I release them under a pseudonym, I actually might have more chance than if I release them as me, because people have a preconception about Ian. Well, it's happened already. Ian Danter releasing the song. He's a football commentator. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it. The stigma's there.
But fucking Paul Gascoigne, The Fog on a Time? He released that, didn't he?
Blimey, now you're going back a few years. Goodness. Hoddle and Waddle. There's another Diamond Lights.
Les Diamond.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a belief in myself as a songwriter, but what I do is purely self-indulgent. I know there's nothing in it for me other than the enjoyment of knowing that I've put stuff out there that 1 or 2 people might enjoy. It's nothing like the pressure you guys are under, and I appreciate that. But you seem to be handling it really, really well. The stages that you guys have been on, and as I say, I keep coming back to that Rockstock performance. That performance told me an awful lot about the progression that you guys have made since I first saw you. Massive leaps and bounds. Massive leaps and bounds.
Thank you, man. That's
Cheers,
great.
buddy. Thank you very much.
I think it's been easier because I think I speak for a lot of us as well, where I think we feel blessed. The reception, the love, the fact that the songs are getting just to be put on the platform that we want them to be put on, and that makes us want to work harder. So you do get a lot of bands, and you've seen this, Ian, in your career. I have as well over the 20 years. Bands become very lazy very quick. Where, all right, cool, this is all happening now, so now we'll just sit back and just let everything happen. We're not like that. We're very much, I don't know whether because of where we're from or the fact that we know how quick it can be taken away from you. Because it is the old score of as quick as you go up, you can come down quicker. We just kind of staying humble and doing, like Shane said, it's almost like we love a challenge. It's like, right, we've just done a second album. The feedback and the love it's getting is tremendous. All right, it's kind of on pause because we didn't get to tour the arse off it. We haven't got to do the European tours yet, or anything else that's planned in the future. But when that happens,
what I can see from the way you talk about it, all four of you, and when Shine is here, there's a self belief that in yourselves, both individually and collectively. You cannot lose that. I thought I was going to be a rock star. I was total delusions of grandeur that I was going to be huge, and it didn't happen. But I still had a brilliant time trying, and I gave it my all. But you guys are in a position where you're much further up the rock and roll ladder than I ever got in all my years, and it's that collective responsibility that's going to see you through. As you say, Ron, there are some bands where it only takes one guy to drop his or her percentage of input or enthusiasm, and that can drag the rest of you down. And that's the dangerous thing. You have to make sure that everybody's equally willing to carry that ball and keep fighting the same fight. But it occurs to me that that's exactly what you guys have got. You've got that unity.
Because there's no harder person out there. Would it be someone writing a review of our show? There's nobody harder than us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what anybody writes. So I think that's a real positive because we're never happy. So it has to be better next time.
Well, you have to be constructive, about when you critique yourselves or as an individual or collectively, but that just comes with experience and the knowledge that you guys have already got from the shows that you've done, from the support slots you've done, from the headline shows you've done. That's just a natural thing. You've got a perspective on what those damn crows are about now. You might have been spent a few years just trying to, what's our USP? What's our place in this world? You've got that now. You know what it is. I can tell from the performances you put in. You know what your position is.
Yeah.
And now it's up to you to get it to the next level and the level after that and the level after that.
Yeah.
I know you can do it.
Bang on.
Thank you.
And before obviously you leave tonight, you've been working on a podcast in the lockdown.
Yeah, in this room. This is where I start. Same time as you started your CrowCast, I started a thing called the Barmy Old Podcast. Anyone can find it just by searching their podcast provider, just search Ian Danter, and you should find it straight away without having to put anything else. But going back to the radio show that I had in Birmingham back in 2000, it was called the Barmy Brummies, and it was a drive time show, and it was all comedy. It was like sketches and parody songs and things like that. And I also did a similar show for a couple of years on another Midlands radio station, Heart FM. And so the podcast is all about, it started out sort of revisiting all that archive stuff because I've got about 120 mini discs down here by my feet full of sketches and stuff. But what we're doing now, we're up to episode 10, like you guys are tonight with CrowCast, and we're now writing new stuff, new parody songs. We had like Dominic Cummings singing "I Drove All Night" by Roy Orbison on a new episode. And if you Ozzy, I'm doing Ozzy doing his version of the baked potato song. You know, the Matt Lucas baked potato song that's been. Ozzy's doing his own version. So that's good fun. Ozzy's a good voice, you know, man. It's so fucking straightforward, you know. Next thing you know, the wind's gonna change. I'm gonna fucking stay like it. So Ozzy. It's sketches, it's songs, it's just it's stupidity for half an hour. It kills half an hour.
That's fucking brilliant.
I gotta listen to that, man. If it's
I don't know where it is. It's about half an hour the show, and there's parody songs in there. There's sketches. There's a character you guys will struggle to understand called Black Country Bob, who's the politically incorrect MP for Dudley, who's got a proper thick Black Country accent. I'd love to hear what you guys.
Family are from West.
Oh, well, there you're in then, Dave. You're fine. So yeah, that's it. It's mostly new stuff we're doing now on that show, and it comes out every Monday morning, and it's great fun. It's keeping me sane whilst lockdown's been going on, because I've had very little else to do. Whilst the lockdown's been going on, been waiting for things to restart football wise. And
hey guys, sorry to interrupt. You know, I told you a couple of weeks ago that I've had some weird goings on in this house about the glass moving across the table.
Yeah.
I've literally just witnessed a plastic. You know, the guitar tuners go on the headstock. It just got thrown from the table to the floor. Right, fucking.
Where's Derek? We need Derek Akora in there.
He's long gone. He's gone.
Yeah. There's a spirit person. There's a spirit person in this room. He's angry. He's angry. The spirit person is angry.
You're all right.
I think that Aussie impression might have pissed them off. But...
Brilliant. We're talking about.
I've viewed a few of the episodes. It's got a real good feel vibe to it, and I grew up with my dad, and it was like Spike Milligan, the Goons, and stuff like that. So it's real
Kenny
old
Everett.
school. Yeah, Kenny Everett, massive. It's got a real proper old school vibe to it, and I love it. I do I'd recommend it to anyone.
Just being silly for half an hour. That's all it is, really. We're just trying to keep people smiling in these odd times that we're in. So
I did my own Kenny Everett impression earlier in the week, Ian. Me and Ron got a Zoom sort of meeting with some friends and stuff, and I dressed as a woman.
Okay.
And you know he does the whole crossing the legs thing.
Cupid stunt.
That was me. I look terrible as a woman. I look terrible as a woman.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Well, yeah, it's like you said, we're trying to think of things to keep yourself entertained. So we've been doing this. It's brilliant, actually. He's on you. John Mitch came up with he's called it the COVID arms, and we meet on Zoom. But we decided to dress up the other week, and when I got on and Shane was dressed up, it was brilliant. But halfway through the quiz, everyone's kind of eyes down, and it's all serious. All I can see him is doing the Kenny Everett sketch with the legs quickly, like the quick changeover, giving a quick like it.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Kenny Everett was a genius. One of the things I love most, we do Mr. Men stories. Like if you remember the old, when I grew up, the Mr. Men stories were told by Arthur Lowe. Old Captain Mannering off. Yeah. So in this latest episode, it's Mr. Covidiot, the story. So we've had Mr. VAR. There you were talking about VAR the other week. So there's Mr. VAR. There's Mr. Mr. Editor for a newspaper. So it's Mr. Covidiot this week, which is suitably ridiculous. So it's all in the best possible taste.
I love it.
That's brilliant, class. Mate.
But yeah, the Barmy Old podcast out every Monday morning, kind of first thing when you wake up.
That's brilliant, mate. And thanks for coming on again. And we could spend hours speaking to you, mate. There's so many more questions and everything so. But thank you. Honestly, it's been brilliant. Like,
it's been awesome. Thanks, dude.
Well, a pleasure. Pleasure to be invited on. And I'm always in your corner, fellas. And I look forward to all this being over, so I can come out and see you guys at a show wherever it may be. Hopefully later this year, if not early next, and we can pick up where we left off, all of us.
Yeah. Hey, dude, before you go, can I have one request? Can you do a Les Diamond impression? Sorry, a Des Lynam impression.
Des Lynam, it is.
Les Diamond were a dodgy 80s glam metal band.
Well, do a Des Lynam impression. Go on.
Des is an interesting story because when I started on BR&B, we wanted to do this thing. Des Lynam at the time, so we're going back to like 2000. So he was the sports presenter at that time. Yeah. But for some reason, he got this reputation as a bit of a housewife's choice because he looked good. He got the old moustache going on, the sports jacket, the grey felt. Yeah, exactly. For some reason, the ladies seemed to really go for him. So in our twisted minds, we got it in our heads that Des could become a bit of a Lothario, and before long, we developed this section of the show called Des's Dedications, which was just a dedication to a local workplace in Birmingham. And the requests used to come flooding in, and it's all double entendre, and it's just Des being completely filthy, So you just put on your Des Lynam like that, and you talk about, I used to work in a video shop, and this young lady came round, and I wanted to show her the latest Warren Beatty film. So I said to her, "Would you like to see some Dick Tracy?" And we go off like that. And I got my videos out. I produced a Deep Impact, and she produced a Scream, and things like that. So it's just filth. And so Des's Dedications took on a life of its own. I was told by people who worked on the production line at the Land Rover in Longbridge in Birmingham, right? Which was, unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But apparently, the production line used to stop. They used to switch the machinery off when Des came on this would be about 4:20 in the afternoon. They would switch the machinery off because they wanted to hear Des's Dedications. I affected productivity at Land Rover. I was guilty of causing a slowdown in production in the UK car industry.
No, it's not there anymore.
Well, yeah, but we had these phrases like "hi girls," which it was just "hi girls," but eventually became "hi girls." It was just completely accentuated the and then "fantastic" became "fantastic," and it ended up. This is how weird it got. BRMB, which is like Capital Radio or Red Dragon, right? Where you guys are, similar sort of thing to Red Dragon, right? They used to have this party in the park thing where the pop bands of the day, like Billy or A1 or whatnot, would come along and mime, right? And they used to have it at Alexandra Stadium in Perry Bar. The athletics track holds about 10,000 people, 20,000 people. I had to. We did a version of Des singing 7 Days by Craig David.
Yeah.
Right, where it was basically Monday, took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday, Thursday. Nasty rash on Monday. Went to the clinic on the Tuesday. Antibiotics on the Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. Cleared up on Sunday though. Fantastic. I had to sing that. I had to sing that to 20,000 people because they needed some time whilst they were rearranging the stage. So I had to go out there and sing this parody song. I got a round of applause. I didn't deserve that. I got a bigger round of applause as Billy Piper did for singing the number one hit. But that was a moment. That was a moment.
It's just been fucking brilliant.
That's brilliant. That is amazing.
It's never right, is it?
I'm so glad I asked that question. I'm so glad.
Yeah, Des has been good to me. I have to say. That was a kick. But yeah, and Des is still a very much a focal point of the Barmy Old podcast. We play out an old Desi's dedications, or Desi's diary as it also became known. We always play out one of those when we're Charlie. Dear old
There's
Charlie.
so many people absolutely crying at the moment. That's
Well, that's
brilliant,
good.
mate.
That's what it's all about, and it putting
So
a
funny.
smile on people's faces.
Yes.
That's yeah, Des is has it's given me a bit of work over the years. Tell you what, fantastic. Oh dear, you got to laugh, haven't you?
Oh,
Because if you don't laugh, you'll fucking cry, and that's no good to anybody in this day and age. But yeah, well,
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
well,
thanks, Ian.
Thank you guys. Yeah. So please check out the podcast, rate, review, subscribe if you get the chance. I've set Lloyd off now. Jesus,
That's fucking brilliant.
Ronnie's only just recovered.
It's there, mate. You're there.
That's
in
it.
My,
Top man.
You are there.
There's
You're
lovely.
in there. You're in there.
There's
Brilliant.
lovely.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Rate,
thank
review,
you.
rate, review, and subscribe now in a minute, or in a minute now, whichever you prefer,
Baby.
isn't it?
That's what I've been sending him. So when he
Heidi.
said, yeah, no worries, I'll come on, I'll support the boys and everything. I went, brilliant. He went, how's it work? I said, I'll send you a link and everything. Right, tidy. I said, I'll send that now in a minute.
Or in a minute now. See, I've learned this off Tanith. She's sort
It
of
reminds me of Boyd.
refresher
You
course in
remind
Welsh.
me of Boyd Clark.
Yeah.
When you
Boyd.
talk like from
Oh,
Satellite
Bob of
City.
Twin Town. Oh right. Okay.
When you, isn't it?
Isn't it? You mean Ron Manager? Isn't it? Wasn't it? Troubles for goalpost. What's the score? 17-12. Oh, isn't it?
You call me yes, I love it.
Dude, this has been
Oh,
incredible. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much for coming on. Please download his podcast. And we're so looking forward to catching you up when all this fucking blows
buddy.
over and everything gets back to normal. Thank you, mate. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Ian.
Ian,
Thank
that's
you,
thoroughly
Ian.
good, buddy. Thank you so much.
Honestly, that
Maybe
was
lots, guys.
brilliant. And on art, that was brilliant. Thank you, you legend.
Lovely to see you as well.
Yeah, you
Mr.
too,
Ian
guys. Look
Danter.
after yourselves, all right?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Ian.
Oh, man, that's brilliant. That was so good. That was so good.
What?
That was
I'm so glad I asked that.
That's so good. Oh, my God. That's amazing. Fair
Honestly,
play.
I could do another 3 hours there. Absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But there's so much. Like, that's why I said I can't wait to catch up with Dance. It's amazing now. You know, he's become a mate of the band as well. So, but I can't wait to ask him more questions and definitely hear more of those impressions. They're amazing. But I have honestly now. I downloaded his podcast the other week and I started listening to him. It's so old school. You know, like when we're in the van and we're talking about the old school heroes and the old school comics and stuff. It's got all that vibe of like my late childhood and everything, and like what my dad used to play and all the old records. It's just got that innocent humor. It's half hour. Go and check it out. Like it, subscribe it, share it, support it. Do you know what I mean? It'll make you happy. So absolutely brilliant. Absolutely
I want
brilliant.
to get involved. I want to be a character. I just want
Yes.
to be brilliant.
I know.
Right. Honestly, it's not just like nostalgia and stuff. That literally like is in the bones of me. Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
comedy, slapstick comedy. I love.
And it's in there, mate, when he was on about the Bob character as well, like the Deep South and all of that. Oh, it's fucking, so Black Country Bob. It's so, honestly, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He, you know, it deserves a lot of praise, that does. So, and now he's done the Aussie thing. I haven't heard that one yet, so I don't know. That's class, man. Fair play.
What a way to do CrowCast 10. With the
Wow, that was awesome.
Well, fucking Des lining on tonight, boys.
That was awesome. Yeah, I know. He pulled all the guests on tonight, didn't he? Aussie, Des. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
God, yeah.
Fuck yeah, we've had brilliant Cartwright on.
Yeah, but honestly, what a special episode, episode 10. That was awesome.
Brilliant.
And like I said, I can't say it enough how many times we've heard him commentate on games, Shane, and it's truly amazing. Met him up in Steelhouse. I said to you, Lloyd, because I know you're not the biggest football fan, but you absolutely got it. Where I was like, that's Ian Danter, man. It's just the voice when you grow up with that comfort, and and even my boy who was like 15. And he heard his voice, and the first thing he said when Ian was like, "Hey, Ronnie, how's it going?" Brody, he was like, "I bet you think you're so cool now, don't you?" It's brilliant. Like,
You should have turned around and gone,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just wicked, man. And like I said, that was such an entertaining episode. Before we go, if I just whip this on, so everybody, thank you for your support. If you subscribe. Put the notifications on, like the Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd really, really appreciate that. Keep spreading the word of the CrowCast. I hope it's kind of entertaining you. We're trying to bring you new guests. Keep an eye on us for what we're going to do next week. I'm so off track now.
Brilliant. And for you guys that have bought merch, the Reaper t-shirts, just to sort of say what we said earlier, that will be coming to our HQ tomorrow. So we'll be sending that out as soon as we get them. So tomorrow and the next couple of days, I'll be sending that out to you. Thank you so much for your support. But head on over to the webpage because we've sort of updated our stock and stuff on other items as well. So if you want to go and have a look, it'd be much appreciated. Your support is incredible, as always. Thank you for joining us tonight. I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
That was brilliant.
Legend.
Yeah.
Legend.
Dave says Terrar as well. Bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Absolutely brilliant, boys. Until next week, episode 11.
Until next week. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, CrowFamily.
Bye.